The welterweight division, the fiercest, the most competitive, the most aggressive, the most welterweightish division in boxing.
Oh, wait, Tom.
Yeah.
Welterweightish isn't a word.
Okay, interrupted me, rude, and yes it is. Welterweightish is a word, I just made it up. Now we going with it, welterweightish. Let's go. Lamont Peterson, Sergey Lipinets. Tonight, these two fighters look to make their presence felt in a division so stacked it's bigger than Kylie Jenner's bank account. Let's be real, their mission is pretty clear. Knock that fool out before he knocks you out. But the one who falls, and usually on his face, has a little problem. He's forced to head back to the meat freezer. That's a Rocky reference for those of y'all who were born in a meat freezer. So who will it be? The hometown hero from DC ready to hand out some capital punishment? The two-division world champ who once held the welterweight title? Or will it be Lipinets, the Russian by the way of Kazakhstan? The former junior welterweight world champion needs to make a name for himself in this higher weight class. Oh! This is big. Nothing little about it. Well, except for those tiny little stools that the fighters have to sit on. I mean, I'm serious. Get these dudes a recliner or something. Hey, man, brother need to rest.
Got Tone Bell all over it. Very funny. Our thanks to Tone Bell for the introduction for tonight's main event. He stars in the upcoming movie, as he emphasized, Little, alongside Isaac Ray and Regina Hall. Little is in theaters April 12th. And Lamont Peterson, Sergey Lipinets, just down the road from our nation's capital at the MGM National Harbor here in Maryland, as Lipinets taping up, getting ready. Just celebrated his 30th birthday this past week. And Lamont Peterson with his brother Anthony Peterson earlier on the main card as well. Well, we walk you inside the theater here at MGM National Harbor. I'm Chris Myers, and thanks for being a part of Premier Boxing Champions Live here on FS1. Ray Mancini, Jarrett Hurd joining me in a moment. The welterweight division, certainly one of the more entertaining, competitive, packed with action fighters from what we saw recently with the undefeated Errol Spence Jr. You throw in Sean Porter, you throw in Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford. We have two guys that once held titles but are trying to work their way back into that conversation to try and get a chance at maybe getting another championship. And we will take a look at the main card. But first, those fights leading up. Anthony Peterson, the brother, 13-month difference against Argenis Mendez. Actually, both the Petersons, if you're inclined to wager, they're both underdogs in this bout. Clark against Vernon Brown, Jamontay Clark from Cincinnati. And then, of course, that's a super welterweight 10-rounder. And then scheduled for 12, the main event, Lamont Peterson against Sergey Lipinets. And both fighters at the crossroads for different points in their career.
The junior middleweight champion, Swift Jarrett Hurd. Hurd with a flash there. Wow. Hitting with right hand. That's his money punch. Oh, big right hand by Hurd. Harrison goes down.
All right, that's the champ, undefeated Jarrett Hurd in the ring. Nice to see you ringside looking sharp. Welcome. Look forward to your insight.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here with Ray Mancini, the former champ, a Hall of Famer, and nicknamed Boo Boom. You never get tired of seeing or hearing that. All right, so I want to get your thoughts. Since you're going to be calling the fights, let's go to the main event, and let's talk about Peterson and what's on the line for him and what you expect from Lamont tonight.
Well, Lamont Peterson, he's a great champion, a fighter who's a former champion, and he has the experience at the weight class of welterweight, which he has his size over Lipinets. This is only Lipinets' second fight. I want him to go in there and use his size. I'm a guy who's very familiar with the size advantage because I'm a great big fighter, and that's something that I use on my opponents, and Peterson should go out there and impose his will and size on Lipinets.
Does that age 35, there's some wear and tear there, and he even admitted to us, that Lamont did, that this is an important fight for where he is in his career. Does that concern you?
Well, it doesn't concern me, but one thing I know that a win over Lipinets can put him back in the talks of a title shot. And, at the age 35, a guy like Lamont Peterson needs something like that right now.
And he'll feed off the crowd here, and his brother a part of things as well. How about the other side with Lipinets?
Lipinets, again, he has experience more from the kickboxing perspective.
over 300
Right.
kickboxing experiences, and I think they said his hands were fast, but his footwork they're concerned about.
Right, exactly. Because when you're a kick fighter, you screw up more. So now, as a boxer, you want to stay more on an angle. But look, he has enough experience. He's worked with a new trainer, Joe Goosen. He had a great trainer, Buddy McGirt. So he has the good people talking in his ear. As long as he can keep his composure in there, use his hand speed, punch on angles. Move with his feet. I think he's going to be okay in this fight.
And he was undefeated until a couple of fights ago when he lost to Mikey Garcia.
A lot of guys lose to Mike Garcia. Mikey Garcia is a special type of fighter. That's no disgrace to Lipinets. And I think, like you said, Jared said, a win tonight over a strong opponent like Lamont Peterson puts him right back in the hunt for another title.
Both fighters hoping for a bounce-back performance. Let's check in with our ringside reporter, Jordan Hardy.
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with Lamont Peterson. Lamont, you're fighting in your hometown. Do you feel any extra pressure or added motivation to put on a show tonight? Because your brother did mention that you guys got a little contest going on who's going to steal the show.
No pressure, though. You perform better when you take the pressure off you, so that's what I do.
And Sergey Lipinets' team, they said that they know you're a great fighter and they've come prepared, but they've even added a new trainer in Joe Goosen. Does that concern you at all?
No concerns. I'm sure Goosen has taught him a few things, but at the end of the day, still got to go in there and fight.
And have you at all thought about what maybe Goosen has told him that they're going to look out for you to do tonight?
Not my concern. I just want to go out there and perform the best I can. That's all I can control.
You're a former two-division world champion. With the win tonight, do you feel like, how long will it take for you to get back in that mix of the 147-pound division?
Well, I guess that'll all depend on how well I perform and who's willing to take the challenge to, give me the opportunity to fight for another world title or fight one of the top guys. We'll wait and see what happens.
Best of luck to you tonight. Chris, back to you.
Jordan and Lamont, thank you. Anthony Peterson, his younger brother, will see him first on the main card, scheduled to go against Argenis Mendez in a 10-rounder. Live at MGM National Harbor, and the main card coming up, the main event a few moments away. And with Rayman City, Chris Myers joining us ringside to help call this fight. That is Jarrett Hurd, the super welterweight champ, undefeated. And if the hair looks familiar, and Jarrett, I'm sure you've heard this before, now a member of the Cleveland Browns, the former Giant receiver Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, I get that a lot everywhere I go, and it's funny because he was at Jamontay Davis fight, and he acknowledged me and said the same thing.
All right, so who had the cool hairstyle first, you or him?
I'm not sure,
Well, if you fight over it, I'm going with you. If it's a catch game, we'll lean towards him. You got your upcoming fight. You're excited about May 11th on Fox. You're going to put your title on the line at George Mason, Fairfax, Virginia. So it's in your neighborhood. It's the first time really you're fighting this close since you've become a big success.
Exactly, man. It's always been a dream of mine, especially becoming world champion. It's my first fight back home since 2014, and I can't wait to put on a spectacular show against Julian Williams.
And it is. It's Julian Williamson, an impressive record of 26-1-1. We look forward to that, but we look forward to you calling these fights tonight with us as the Peterson brothers. Later it's Lamont in the main feature. Anthony Peterson ready to go in this bout against Argenis Mendez. And to the ring, and Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to MGM National Harbor for PBC on FS1. Sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. We begin the evening 10 rounds this in the super lightweight division. The three judges scoring this contest at ringside will be John Gradowski, Larry Hazard Jr., and Paul Wallace. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds is David Braslow. Introducing first, fighting to my left out of the red corner, he comes in wearing the red, white, and blue. Official weight 140 pounds. As a professional, his record includes 25 wins, a dozen of those coming inside the distance against 5 losses and 1 draw. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York by way of La República Dominicana is the former world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, presentando Argenis La Tormenta Mendez. And across the ring, his adversary fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the purple, silver, and black. Weighing in officially at 140 1/4 pounds. His record is near perfect. 37 wins, 24 of those coming by way of knockout against one blemish. Fighting out of Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Argenis Peterson.
All right, gentlemen, you're given the rules in the dressing room. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch them up. Good luck.
Tonight's Tale of the Tape, sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. Slight reach advantage by the local product, Anthony Peterson. He has a few more years experience, a few more years of age, and the height similar, and the record's impressive. The 24 knockouts for Peterson, something to look for. 5 losses for Mendez. Again, both of the Peterson brothers underdogs tonight, even though they're in their own backyard. Let's do this, round 1. Scheduled for 10. Peterson in the purple trunks. Jared Hurd, Ray Mancini, Chris Myers ringside, Marcos Villegas, our unofficial scorer, Jordan Hardy, our reporter, Felix De Jesus, our interpreter.
You know, Chris and Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, when you got a guy like Argenis Mendez in front of you who's not a big puncher, I'd be coming right at him to back him up. You know, I know that's Anthony Peterson is a boxer, but he's a bigger puncher. Come forward and dictate the pace of the fight. Dictate where you want your guy to go.
Well, that's true to a certain extent. You know, I don't think Peterson should go right at him without, you know, knowing what he's getting himself into. You know, it's the first round. I think he should do what he's doing now, filling him out. And, you know, as the fight going, if he feels comfortable, then pick it up.
Yeah, Peterson, of his last 7 wins, 4 have been by knockouts, and 2 of those came in the first round. This is his 6th fight in the D.C. area. The venues around here, they've all been wins.
Well, the reason why I was saying that earlier, this is why I respectfully disagree with my brother here, because when you come in the back guy's backyard, you know, he's coming forward. You want to make him uncomfortable right from the jump, push him back, let him know it's going to be a long night. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. Now, Anthony Peterson, this is what he may do to get comfortable, knowing the guy's not a big puncher. But I'd back him up initially because he's not a puncher, and you know this. So you shouldn't keep your hands up tight, but he's a mover. I understand that. But Anthony Peterson, I think, should come forward, backing up Mendez. Don't let him get comfortable. Don't let him get that aggression coming forward, and make him real comfortable right from the jump.
Mendez, a former IBF super featherweight champ, won that title in 2013. Survived a couple of defenses before losing a unanimous decision in 14. He's fighting 2 classes higher than he was at the time. And they scuffle in the corner and come out of it. Now lives in Brooklyn, born in the Dominican Republic.
Lucano right over top by Mendez.
Completing round 1 on this, the main card, Anthony Peterson and Argenis Mendez. Argenis Mendez, the slight favorite over Anthony Peterson. Let's check in with Jordan Hardy.
Chris, thank you. In 2017, Mendez was coming off back-to-back losses going into his fight against Ivan Redkach, and he told me back then that that was going to be the start of his new legacy, and sure enough, he won that fight. And then over a year later, in May of 2018, he had a dominant performance over Eddie Ramirez last May. So will Mendez continue his new legacy by beating Anthony Peterson tonight? We'll just have to wait and see, guys.
It's a challenge, and some people, those that are inclined to wager, think he can. He started boxing at the age of 12. Mendez in the 2004 Olympics And he did win in the Pan American Championships in 2005. A right that gets nothing. And that first round, maybe Mendez a slight edge. Even though Peterson landed more punches.
Yeah, see, Peterson's coming out now, and he's using his jab a lot more. I think that's a good key for him tonight in this fight.
Well, it's going to have to, because the first round, Mendez used his hand speed. He was obviously faster hands, and kept his hands up tight, and he was ending each flurry with the jab straight out, which looks good to the judges.
Anthony Peterson, like his brother, trained by Barry Hunter. Sweat flying on that jab.
Another thing, Chris and Jared, one reason why I'm saying that to Peterson should come forward. So, I understand he wanted to get reacclimated to the ring because he hasn't had a lot of fights over the last 3 years. I think it's his third fight in 3 years.
In that ballpark. Remember, he had a marijuana issue that he said he used it to help him sleep, but it didn't really help. So he created some doubt having some time off in between for that.
Look, he's an experienced guy. So, Jared, when you're an experienced guy, you got to use whatever you have, whether it's your youth, whether it's your strength, whether your body, to counter his experience. So, I think Mendez is been in there, he's been active. You got to do something to change it up.
Right, you got to do something to change it up. And like I said, I like the movement of Peterson, but I don't want him to use it too much, as if it's like he's almost running around the ring,
Yeah, you see him sweating. I mean, his back, sweat pouring off his back. We're only in round 2. His last fight was January of 2018. Ray, I know you were talking about how often he's fought. That was an overwhelming 10-round decision on all cards over Luis Eduardo Flores. But that's where he was declared a no contest when that failed drug test, post-fight drug test. But Peterson continuing to move, 13 months younger than Lamont, who's fighting the main card against Sergey Lipinets, and it's the first time the Peterson brothers will be on TV fighting together since 2007. Anthony Peterson responding in that second round after it looked like Mendez got out in front of the opening round. Peterson has called himself the ghost of boxing, has also been called the most patient man in boxing. As we get ready for round 3. You're watching PBC Live on FS1. It's a Sunday night fight night. Glad to have you with us. Super lightweight bout. You see the 140-pound weight division, and punches landed. Peterson doubling up Mendez, but expending a lot of energy.
Yeah. Peterson spent a lot of energy using his movement. But, I've been in the gym with these guys a lot. This is how they start off. They use their movement and they end up picking up.
That was a nice body shot delivered by Peterson.
That was a good combination, and just you should jump right back on him and do it again, because it isn't like Mendez has forced him to do it too much with him. Mendez is just throwing a lot of punches. Jump right back on him. Crush your heads there, crush your heads.
Mendez kind of zeroing in as if he was looking through a periscope with the gloves up.
And you see there, Mendez lands a great combination, but in response, Peterson come back with his own combination and let him know that, you can't just get off on me without being certified shot.
Peterson has the faster hands. It's obvious at this point. So I would use that. I would use it. Jump, get it closer, let my hands go, then move out.
And those total punches you saw, Peterson has thrown over 100, more than double of what Mendez has thrown.
And there you see both guys exchange jabs. This is a real technical fight.
Step around right now.
Crowd getting into it here in round 3. Still dancing is Peterson and moving.
This is a good round for Peterson. Showing a little versatility. Good hand speed. Standards, throw some good power punches.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a couple of lefts to the side of the head of Peterson delivered by Mendez before the ref got in there.
What Peterson did earlier is he went around the guard of Mendez. You know, Mendez kind of, when he get defensive, he puts his hands up. When he doesn't protect the side of his head, he went around the guards there and had some great shots.
Yeah, Mendez has his gloves down there in that moment of the fight. And that'll put it into round 3. And Peterson with an aggressive moment or two to maybe take a second straight round.
Don't stay there.
Listening in Mendez's corner.
Let's go.
Did you catch anything there, Ray, that made sense?
No.
Just encouragement.
Yeah. Look, that was a good round for Anthony Peterson. That was that round was a good round for him. Now he's starting to do what Jared said earlier. He's giving the movement. Now he's starting to stop, throw flurry punches, move around him.
And we'll check in with our unofficial scorer in just a few moments to see how he sees this so far. I'm sure you watching at home have your own ideas based on punches landed, some of the stats we've thrown up. Judges ringside watching closely, and not just what's landed, but how effective those punches are when they land.
And one thing Mendez can do with the movement that Peterson is giving him is to cut the ring off. You know,
and when you say cut the ring off, you mean?
Yeah, well, he's following behind Peterson. I would like him to, instead of going in a straight line, step to the side after his combinations to kind of cut him off and corner him in the corner so he won't be able to move as much.
Let's bring in Marcos Villegas, our unofficial scorer here.
Chris, so far this is a really competitive fight. And so far this round is really competitive. I have it 29-28 for Peterson. He had a very great rounds 2 and 3, and I think his speed is bothering Mendez. And when he pops that jab, he scores and it grabs my attention. So I'm sure it's grabbing the attention of the judges when he's popping it.
And it was interesting because it was Mendez who Ray pointed out showed some quickness and speed in the opening round. And Lamont Peterson, brother of Anthony, is watching this fight. He'll be fighting in the main event against Sergey Lipinets, coming up here on FS1 Live from National Harbor and the theater at the MGM.
Chris, in the beginning, like I said, I thought Mendez was, throwing some good stuff, but Jared even said that, Peterson wasn't throwing too many punches.
Mendez landed a right.
Right. Show good hand speed. He's got good hand speed. I would use my hand speed to show my effectiveness. And right now, this guy, I don't think he's hurt by any punches by Mendez, so stand there in the pocket a little bit.
But looked like he marked up the nose of Peterson a little bit. At least there's some redness there when that right landed. And the gloves were down on Mendez as if he was ready to make a move. Peterson with a jab does not connect.
And one thing guys are doing, as you seen earlier, is they're both jabbing, but they're jabbing and they're bringing their right hand down. Even when they jab at the same time, that's the reason why they're both exchanging jabs. And what I would like to see them do is when they throw the jab, don't bring the right hand up. So
much of this fight being, there's a Peterson going after it against Mendez on the ropes.
Yeah, open up with some great shots there.
And now it's Peterson on the ropes, bouncing off the ropes into a clinch, and the ref's letting him go. I was just saying before that much of the fight from a distance, which had allowed Peterson to use his jab effectively, but that looked like a heated exchange. The flurry with Anthony and Lamont saying that's what you got to do.
Okay. Go seconds out. Let's go. All right.
Mendez, who was backed up on the ropes after that flurry by Anthony Peterson. That last round going to Peterson unofficially. That we have the last 3 after Mendez won the opening round. Here we are in round 5. We're live, Premier Boxing Champions on FS1. Crowd filling in nicely here at the MGM.
Again, I think Mendez should know, and his corner got to know that you're in a guy's backyard. You got to pick up the pace. As Jared just said, he's doing a little more ring around the rosy. He's just following Anthony Peterson as he moves. He's not cutting off the ring, which is what Jared was saying about Anthony should do to Mendez. Step over, make your guy go the other way.
Mendez trying to sneak a jab in between the gloves of Peterson.
They're both throwing jab and dropping it. Shoot the right hand over the top. Even if you're gonna, you're gonna hit him somewhere. You're too close not to.
All right, crowd enjoying Peterson backing Mendez into the corner and delivering a few punches.
Yeah, this
and then there's a left-handed response by Mendez.
Yeah, that's not where Mendez wants to be on the ropes. Right, every time Anthony gets him on the ropes, Peterson gets him on the ropes, he bangs away.
And Peterson got a body shot in there before they step back to the center of the ring, and he's got Mendez with the gloves up playing defense here.
Nice combination.
And he's throwing it to the head because Mendez has a habit of dropping that left hand. So you're going to hit him somewhere, in the chin, temple, somewhere.
Connected, had the crowd oohing and ahhing.
I think Mendez got the better of that shot.
Do you think so?
Good body shot.
Sweat flying. Strong punches here in round 5.
See, here's a key thing that's happening right now. Peterson slowed down his movement. He's starting to stand toe to toe now and exchange punches with Mendez. And right now, Mendez is being successful.
Get back on the break. Stop. Get back on the break. Let's go.
Blood coming out of the nose of Peterson inside of 10 seconds of the 5th round. Peterson still moving away from Mendez. Chris Myers with Jared Hurd and Ray Mancini. Let's take a look at what happened.
Yeah, so see, this is where Mendez doesn't want to be on the ropes. And Peterson going to the body break. And
Mendez works his way out of it. I don't know how effective, but he did land a few.
Yeah, he works his way off the ropes, but that's not where he wants to be. In the center ring is where his fight should be at.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point. Look, he's not as effective on the ropes as when he's off the ropes. But again, right now, I think he start that round I gave to Mendez because I thought his punches were sharper, crisper, and he was countering Anthony Peterson much better.
Our unofficial score also went with Mendez in that round, so the only other round he has Mendez winning is the first, other than that 5th round, and so 3 in a row in between that for Anthony Peterson. It's a close fight. Who's going to land the big shot first? Who's going to make a mistake first?
Well, Chris, this is going to be a war of attrition. And one guy's going to have to dictate and make the other guy do what he wants him to do. Coming forward, pushing the other guy back.
Looked like Anthony got Mendez where he wanted him, but Mendez got out of it in that corner.
Exactly, and like Ray said, this is going to be a battle of nutrition, and a good way to slow the guy down is continue to go to the body. Right now, I see that Peterson is doing the best out of the two with the body shot.
Punches landed, Peterson the advantage there.
But I'm telling you, Jared, you see it. You see his left hand down. He jabs and he drops it. Shoot the right hand over the top. That's what, Anthony Peterson should shoot that right hand.
So body shots, Peterson, the aggressor here.
And I think that's Peterson's most effective weapon when he goes around the guard.
Okay.
Those are shots that land, and those are shots that can hit you kind of near the ear area or the back of the head a little, and it can knock your equilibrium off. So he needs to be careful with that. Mendez got caught with a shot like that, I believe, in the fight against Robert Easter. And those are the best shots that Peterson has landed on the side of the head.
It looks like the right eye, below the right eye of Peterson, there's some swelling.
Stop. Come on, guys. No wrestling. Watch your head. No wrestling. Let's go. Fight.
So right there, to get Anthony Peterson should be stabbing to the body. Because he's got his hands up high. When Mendez has his hands up high, stab to the body, then let him drop his hand down and shoot over the top. He's walking him down with his hand down. Jumping with his jab and right hand. Jab right hand.
Come on. Keep it in front. Let's go. Guys, come on. Keep it clean. Let's go.
Mendez trying to say he turned on me. That's why that shot landed around the belt area. Now Peterson trying to deliver between the upright gloves of Mendez. You can score awkward, but the left lunging as Mendez went towards Peterson.
It look like there's a little swelling over that eye. Peterson, yeah.
And the nose took a shot early that there was some reddening in that area when he took a punch to the face from Mendez.
Both guys are effective. When they're coming forward, they're effective. This is going to be, for me, if I was a judge, I'd be scoring on ring generalship.
And they scored on that. Defense, effective punches, clean punches, all part of what the judges are looking for. Sweat flying as a right lands from Anthony Peterson, who dances away from Mendez. Through 6 rounds. It's close. Sizing each other up, trying to deliver the right punch. Mendez, Peterson live on FS1. A look in the corner of Anthony Peterson, the local product, whose brother Lamont fighting in the main event coming up here at FS1. Let's check in with Jordan Hardy.
Yes, I'm here with trainer Barry Hunter. Barry, what is Anthony doing well, and what do you think he can implement more?
I think he's boxing beautifully, actually. But I like to see him take a little bit more chances on the inside, back him up a little bit, make it kind of rough for him.
Thanks, Coach. Chris?
All right, boxing beautifully. Barry Hunter saying a lot of the teaching in boxing in the corners is not there. It's a lot about rah-rah. But he said he likes the way he's boxing.
Exactly, yeah. He is boxing beautifully, but I agree with him. He should take more chances. Fights winding down. Mendez and Peterson are a little more fatigued to start taking more chances now.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, Jared, is that, come in, throw the punches, stay in the pocket, move to the side. Because, Mendez is not a big puncher. I wouldn't worry about his punching power. Anthony's fought bigger punchers, and by his record, better fighters. So stay near him, stay in the pocket, just move around him, and see what he can do.
Mendez, 31 fights, just a dozen knockouts compared to 24 KOs for Anthony Peterson. And Lamont Peterson keeping a close watch on this. The brothers very close, 13 months apart in age. And I bet he noticed, and we'll watch closely at the end of this round. You see the punches landed as Peterson leans in on Mendez. But it looks like Peterson's been staring down Mendez between the rounds. Let's see if we can catch that again after this round. There's been a few facial expressions from Mendez as if, what's that all about?
Back up. Come on, guys.
4 rounds for Peterson, 2 for Mendez, according to our unofficial score. Peterson landing an average of 10 jabs per round. So that's impressive against a guy like Mendez.
Yeah, this entire fight, both guys have been working behind the jab beautifully there. Mendez lands almost like a slight uppercut / hook jab there.
Yeah, it was an interesting shot that came from him.
Both guys got their hands down. Mendez got that lead left hand down. I would do double jab and straight right hand. He's not going to be able to pick it up in time.
Peterson's got him in the corner. He's got a flurry. Nothing lands.
But stay downstairs. Getting it downstairs. There you go.
There's a nice response from Mendez. And to the middle, there were a couple of body shots Peterson was able to get in before the referee separated the two. Stare down. In that round, Anthony Peterson with a jab and then a flurry against Argenis Mendez. The slight underdog, a slight edge here. Coming up, that's Lamont Peterson trying to bounce back from his knockout loss to IBF World Welterweight Champ Errol Spence Jr. That was in his last bout. It's the main event. He'll be taking on Sergey Lipinets, who's trying to record his second straight win since that only career loss to Mikey Garcia. Trainer Joe Goosen getting Lipinets ready as they work together there in Southern California for the main event. Coming up live as we go to round 8. Anthony Peterson, Argenis Mendez. Peterson in the purple trunks, the aggressor, landing more punches. Our unofficial score giving him the last 2 rounds after giving him 3 rounds following the opening round.
Look, Jerry, you can see right there, Anthony's got the hand speed, quicker hand speed. Even though he's missing the punches, I'd stay in the pocket. Well, he's doing that. He's just doing that. He's not moving as much anymore.
Yeah, he is staying in the pocket a little more than before. But like his coach Barry Hunter said, he should take more chances. You know, some of these rounds could be up in the air. You never know.
And certainly the physical appearance on the faces of these two fighters, it looks like Peterson has taken more punches, even though our statistics showing him landing a lot more. Below the left eye and around the nose area.
Chris, that's what I'm saying about earlier when I was talking about ring generalship. Who's controlling center ring? The judges look. Right now, it looks like Mendez is controlling. He's dictating the pace because he's making Anthony move. Even if Anthony's doing it willingly, it looks like he's making a move. And he's not coming in doing his combinations and moving around. He's been on a bike pretty much this whole round, or last couple rounds, I should say. Now, there he is. Stay right there.
And the reason why it was successful, right, like you said, Ray, he shot the jab, but this time he followed up with the right hand, and he needs to do more often.
You gotta do more of that, yes.
Yeah, not seeing Peterson tire at all here, Jared. He seems to be dancing as freely as he did to start this bout.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I like the movement, but I don't want it to be as much as he's doing now. You know, use the movement, but use it as a way of using angles. Gets his side soft, but don't move around too much when he's not positioned to fire back.
A couple of body shots from Peterson. A jab, a left jab that may have grazed the head of Mendez. The right misses from Mendez.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
Well, had an accidental headbutt on the undercard earlier. That
Time. Listen, both of you, keep it clean. Keep it clean. When I say break, take 2 steps back. Both of you, ready? Let's go. Time in.
referee David Braswell reminding him to keep it clean. If you didn't hear all that, when he said, "When I say break, you break." And watch the lunges. He wants the separation. Let's head over to the corner of Anthony, nicknamed Hazardous Peterson, with a 37-1 record. And listen in on that corner.
Never again. Don't let nobody else run the ring, bro. Never again.
You all right? Set it up. We can fix whatever afterwards.
Yeah.
All right? Smart boxing. You got 2 rounds left, okay? How we doing, man?
Good. I'm about to walk a little bit. Yeah, man.
Behind your dad, all right? And make sure you hold that phone.
Keep rolling, keep slip and slide too, man. Keep moving too. If you on the inside, don't just stay right down the line.
Boom now.
Cuando está corriendo, él no está en posición para tirar.
He's running a little bit, so you got to catch him, okay? It's 2 more rounds. Let's go. Let's get it going.
Mendez corner after we heard smart boxer in the corner of Anthony Peterson. So Ray, they feel, you get the impression, Peterson's corner, that they've got their head in this fight.
Yeah, they feel comfortable in this fight. They feel he's controlling it when he's boxing smart and not, you know, as Jared's made the point, there's a difference of boxing smart, controlling the pace, and look like you're running. And that's what he doesn't want to do, you know.
And right, and I can see that Mendez corner is realizing what Peterson doing the movement, but they didn't give him instructions on how to stop the movement.
How to cut him off.
Yeah, how to cut him off, and that's the only problem.
And wouldn't, if you're in Mendez's corner and you feel like you're behind, wouldn't you try to work on the head of, at least get in on Peterson and try to take advantage of some of those bruises that were delivered earlier, at least the physical appearance and such?
Well, yeah, well, you know, Peterson has some swelling over the left eye. You know, it may be a little hard for him to see the right hand coming, and maybe Mendez should shoot that a little more and give Peterson some trouble if you having trouble seeing.
No, Chris, there's a saying we say you got to go out kamikaze. Yeah, man, you got to go out. That's what you got to kamikaze. You know, go take your shots, throw shots. Don't be stupid, but throw punches. Keep throwing them upstairs, downstairs. You got to overwhelm this guy with a volume of punches.
And explain or expound on, we heard slip and slide in the corner of Anthony Peterson.
Well, when you slip and slide is, you know, side, inside, outside, slip and slide, throwing your punches, getting out underneath, not straight back, underneath, side to side movement.
Saw a tongue wag from Mendez.
And you see now Mendez is able to land the right hand. I'm not sure if it's from the left eye of Peterson's he's having trouble seeing, but Mendez's right hands are getting there.
In the 8th round, Peterson threw 48 punches. That was his lowest total since the opening round. And much of this fight, more than 90%, fought at a distance, allowing Peterson to use his jab. But those are missing.
But Mendez is not coming back with anything. You know, Chris, at the end of this fight, if Mendez, no matter if St. Peterson gets the decision, Mendez people are going to argue, and they're going to argument. They could say that he walked him down, the other guy was moving, made him run. I mean, he's not throwing as many punches as he should, but they may have an argument there.
Yeah, and who am I to question the punches landed, but I just don't see that great a disparity. Maybe the effective punches is a little bit closer. Off the ropes, Peterson moving. Trying to keep away as Mendez works in to wrap up round 9. All right, Ray, Jared, let's recap some of what we saw in that round.
Boom, straight out top, keeping Anthony on the ropes, pushing him around, short shots, right hand, left hook, smart.
And then here you go, Peterson landing the jab and getting out of the way. Some of the right hands that, you know, here's Lamont reaction.
And I think concerned because the last 2 rounds, Marcos Villegas, our unofficial scorer, has given the last 2 rounds to Mendez. After the previous 2 going to Anthony Peterson. So this is a close fight. Maybe closer than Peterson's corner realizes.
Well, that's Chris, that's what I'm saying. You don't know what the judges are looking at. Aggression, effective aggression, you know, all that kind of stuff. But to the judges' eye, one guy's walking the other guy down.
All the way back, guys. Keep it clean. Come on, last round. All the way back. Keep it clean.
And Marcos Villegas, our unofficial scorer, ringside, watching closely with us as we begin this round.
Yeah, Chris, so far I have it 86-84. Anthony Peterson still ahead, though. The last 2 rounds I gave to Argenis Mendez. He's just coming forward. He's letting his hands go. He's just doing more to win those rounds. And it's leaving an impression on me. And you see him right now. He's coming forward. And his corner has to be telling him that he could be behind. And he needs to come forward and make up for that.
So maybe not a knockout, Marcos, but just a big round from Mendez. Can he turn this and win this fight?
He can get a draw. If he gets a knockdown, he can go ahead and win the fight. But it's very close. I had a close swing round in there for round number 6 as well. So it's very close.
Look, Mendez got to go out, and as I said, I'm going to use the term again, kamikaze. He's got to go out there and just throw caution to the wind and let his hands go. That's it. He doesn't seem to have respect for Peterson's power, so go in there and let your hands go. Don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. But at least if it goes to the judges, you look like you initiated initiating the fight.
Trying to work his way in with that left leaning in. Well, you said earlier a hometown advantage. Jared, do you count on that much when you're fighting in your own backyard?
Oh, no, most definitely not, man. As you can see, I'm a guy that hometown, no matter where I'm fighting, I bring the fight at all times. I don't want to leave it in the hand of judges, and that's just something that mindset I have.
Well, Mendez knows he needs something here.
You know, the old saying, Chris, Jared knows this, the old saying, if one guy, you know, when one guy's coming forward and the other guy's moving, if he ain't in there, there's no fight. Right. Because all he's doing is moving right now. I think Anthony, Peterson's standing there, staying, sit down on his punches, throw, then move smart to the side.
And I'm not sure the reason Peterson is moving his way because he feels as though he got the fight in the bag. I'm not sure, but he needs to close the show out because this will be a very close fight than they think.
Yeah, for Mendez, this is a fourth straight fight for him where he's reached the final round.
Jared, you just said it. I'm not so sure I count on I got the fight in hand. You know what? Don't leave it in the hands of the judges, or if it goes to the judges, please leave them seeing that you're initiating you're initiating the punching. You landed better punches before the end of the round.
Well, the crowd, we know who they're rooting for, at least most, but they're sensing that this is a close fight. Under 20 to go. Scheduled for 10, we're going 10. Mendez with his glove in the air as he wanders back to his corner, acting as if he did what he needed to do. Whereas Anthony Peterson from Washington, D.C., as the two embrace, appeared to have the edge throughout this fight. We'll go to the ring for the official decision between Anthony Peterson and Argenis Mendez in just a moment. Well, this 10-rounder scheduled for 10 that went 10 has all the ingredients of a fight that could be a draw. You see them working on that area that Jared Hurd and I talked about with Anthony Peterson below the left eye. In a tough toe-to-toe, Argenis Mendez, Anthony Peterson showdown. Ray Mancini, Jared Hurd, take us through some of the highlights.
Well, here's Peterson doubling with the jab, sweeping right hand around the guards. And here they both exchange jabs. Both guys working good behind the jabs this entire fight.
Look, if depending on either way, whoever gets the decision, the other guy's going to have an argument. The other guy's going to have an argument that they thought they won. I think this would be a great fight, great rematch, because nobody was a clear-cut winner for me in this fight.
Did not have a knockdown here in round 5. This looked like a round where the fight edge for Mendez.
And Peterson had him on the road. That's what Mendez didn't want to be. But you know, here he's bringing the fights back to the center of the ring.
And then in the 7th round, it was Peterson responding.
I thought he did his best work when he had Mendez on the ropes, but he didn't have him on the ropes enough. Because I don't think he respected his punching power, so I would have kept him there as long as possible.
But after that, the last few rounds, Mendez seemed to come on. I mean, there's a lot of dancing around, but not as many punches thrown by Peterson as we saw in the first half of this fight.
And yeah, that maybe came from the swelling around the left eye. It maybe getting in trouble. Mendez started landing some right hands, and Peterson started to get less aggressive.
Well, both fighters are acting as if they won. Checking the total punches, our punch stat category, and Peterson had a 50-44 slight edge in power punches landed. That's how close that was, and there's a look at those power punches, and the percentage is a slight advantage for Anthony Peterson, who was the slight underdog. Marcos Villegas, how close did you have this score?
Yeah, you know, I had it 95-95. I had it a draw with Argenis Mendez really closing that gap in the last 3 rounds because he was coming forward. He's letting his hands go, and I think that really left an impression with me. And you know, you never know what you're going to get in terms of the scores. There was a lot of close rounds, different views from the judges at different vantage points. So we'll see how they have it. Let's go ahead and take it up to Ray Flores now. Let's hear the final decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, having completed 10 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Larry Hazard Jr. scores the bout 96-94 for Peterson. Judge John Gradowski has the bout 96-94 for Mendez. And Judge Paul Wallace scores the bout 95-95. This bout has been declared a split draw.
Well, the fans here don't like it. You can see both fighters discussing what they might have done differently. A split draw.
Well, our friend Marcos.
All over it.
Raul, he was all over it, right. He was, you know, he's right. Look, I said either guy could have an argument. Nobody took the initiative.
We'll see what we'll talk afterwards about what could have been done differently. But with Anthony Peterson, let's check in with our Jordan Hardy.
Chris, thank you. Anthony, fighting in front of your hometown tonight, DC. How disappointed are you that you didn't get the ultimate victory?
Well, I'm not that disappointed because I didn't lose, but DC, stand up, man. DC, stand up. You know, I've been out the ring for a long time. I've been out, this is my second fight in the last 3 years. I don't think I did that bad, but, you know, the judges saw a draw, they saw the draw. I'm not mad about it.
How would you assess Mendez's abilities and what you were able to accomplish against him?
You know, be honest, last night was the first time I seen him fight, like really do research on him. I was like, this guy's good. He's slick, he's crafty. There's times I went in there, I didn't really want to engage because I knew he had good counter shots. So I took my time, used my jab, walked around, but it happens, you know what I mean? So congratulations to Mendez and this team. Headbangers, y'all did a good job. DC, we in the house. Y'all know, if y'all... So, I mean, a draw, so it is what it is, but I'm happy. Thanks, PBC, and thank you, and thank everybody, the cameraman, the judges, the referee, everybody.
All right, thank you. Now, Mendez, great fight. We have Felix translating. Do you feel like this fight was a draw?
No, not really. You know, I know that every round was close, but no. I win the fight. I don't want to say easy, but I win the fight. I try running, you know. I not done nothing on the running, on pressure, draw, kind of punch, but it's not.
And we'll let Felix translate that just to be sure.
No, basically that, you know, he's in his hometown. He saw it not a draw here, and it was a great fight, although.
All right, you told me that, you know, when you fought Ivan Redkach a few years ago, you told me that was going to be the start of your new legacy, and you beat Eddie Ramirez, but tonight you got the draw. Where do you go from here to continue that new legacy?
You know,
Este va a ser tu legado, le ganaste a Eddie Ramírez, estaba esperando para un nuevo comienzo en el boxeo y ahora recibe este empate aquí.
el público sabe, el boxeo sabe que no fue un empate, yo gané. Realmente yo voy a seguir adelante, no perdí ni empaté, yo gané. Le doy mucho respeto a Peterson, un muy buen peleador, supo cómo controlar la distancia y no puede que yo pueda controlar mi gol.
No, definitely. The public knows, boxing knows that I won this fight. I'm going to keep going. And you got to give Peterson a lot of credit. He came to fight, you know, he was running a bit, but, you know, he was controlling the distance, and he has a lot of respect for Peterson.
Thank you. Great job tonight. Chris, back to you.
All right, Jordan, yeah, we didn't see a big punch in this. There were no knockdowns. An interesting point of view, as if Anthony Peterson just grateful to be back out there, accepted the draw. Jarrett Hurd, you saw, and Mendez feeling as if he won the fight and that the home canvas, home advantage figured into this bout. What could either fighter have done better, more effectively, to take this fully?
Take total control of the fight. You know, like I said, like Ray said, there was plenty of fights rounds that was up in the air, and even the last round, you know, Peterson went in there trying to, you know, get through the round instead of closing the show.
Well, Anthony said it. Just said, Jerry, he was happy to get through it his first fight. We talked about that earlier. He hasn't been fight regularly in a long time, so he's happy to get through the round. But, you know, I thought
it was an entertaining fight.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining fight, and I said, either guy, for when one guy got the decision, the other side would have a legitimate argument that it was wrong.
And I don't think either fighter made a big mistake, right? Did anything foolish. I mean, that was part of their game plan.
No, I think it was good. The decision was good. It's a draw. Let's bring it back.
will continue. Ray Mancini, Jarrett Hurd. You're watching Premier Boxing Champions live from National Harbor and the MGM here in Maryland on FS1, our main event. Coming up in just a bit. Premier Boxing Champions live from National Harbor and the MGM. We're at the theater inside, about 8 miles from the White House. It's down the road from our nation's capital. Chris Myers, nice to have you watching on FS1, a Sunday night fight night with Premier Boxing Champions getting ready to go with Jamontay Clark and Vernon Brown. Brown has not lost in 11 career fights, and only one loss for Clark, nicknamed the Quiet Assassin. How often does a guy get knocked out of the ring but comes back in and is able to hang in there even though he loses? This Jason Rosario against Clark, and Clark's only mark in his career came here, unanimous decision. It was the moment he'll remember most. Literally punched out of the ring, but got back in and finished. It was scheduled for 10, went 10 rounds before the loss. 13-1 record with 7 knockouts for Clark, and for Vernon Brown, 29 years old from Chicago, with a record of 10-0-1. Didn't turn pro until 2015. And time for our tale of the tape. Got a height advantage for Clark at 6'2", and that should give him the reach advantage as well, and a couple of years pro experience in his favor. Oh, and he's 5 years younger than Vernon Brown. To the ring, and Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, from MGM National Harbor, we now have 10 rounds in the super welterweight division. It is all sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Your 3 judges scoring this contest at ringside will be David Braslow, Larry Hazard Jr., and Paul Wallace. And your referee in charge when the bell sounds, Kenny Chevalier. Introducing first, fighting to my left out of the red corner. He comes in wearing the blue and the silver, weighing in officially at 153 1/2 pounds. His professional record stands at 10 wins, no losses, 1 bout even, 7 wins coming by way of knockouts. Coming to us from Chicago, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Vernon Sub-Zero Brown. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the black trunks, weighing in officially at already 153 pounds. In 14 bouts, his record consists of 13 wins, 7 of those coming inside the distance against 1 defeat. Joining us from Cincinnati, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamontay Quiet Assassin Clark.
All right, look here. Main thing I want is a clean break. But first of all, I'm going to allow a little bit right up top here. Same thing with his, right at the tip top, okay? Watch the low blows, and I don't want that head used in the wrong way. Touch these gloves up.
You never mess with a referee who says, look here. Kenny Chevalier making sure these guys are fighting under the rules. These are, by the way, it's a unified rules here in the state of Maryland, so only the doctor or referee or both could stop the fight. Closed captioning available for tonight's telecast, and if you'd like to hear the broadcast in Spanish, just click over to the simulcast on Fox Deportes. The Quiet Assassin, he's not kidding. When we sat down and tried to talk to him yesterday, he said, I know I didn't give you guys much. I don't like to talk much. When I said, what do you like to talk about? He said, nothing. But that's okay, because he said, I'll give you plenty of conversation in the ring, and that's what we're hoping for. Jamontay Clark and Vernon Brown mixing it up in this super welterweight bout.
And the first thing that's obvious, Chris, we got 2 southpaws in there, and that's unusual to have 2 southpaws fight each other.
All right, so what does that mean in terms of no advantage? You always say a southpaw creates an unorthodox feeling for a righty.
Right, there's no advantage.
Now, can the feet get tangled here? You see how close?
No more than a 2 right-handers
fight.
Okay.
Well, we can see that Clark is the much taller fighter, and he's doing what he's supposed to do right now, working behind the jab and using his height and length.
Vernon Brown telling us his whole life, you know, he had to fight bigger guys growing up on the streets of Chicago, so not intimidated by the taller Clark at 6'2".
Well, Sub-Zero right there, coming from Chi-Town. Sub-Zero's a good name. It's cold in that city, boy. It's cold. But look, obviously he's fighting a tall guy. He's got to fight small. Don't worry about that chin. Don't worry about the head. Concentrate on that body. That's what keep your chin down. Look straight at that stomach. That keeps your chin down. And just work on that body and see if you can take him in the later rounds. Maybe catch him with a good shot to the chin. But right now, focus on the body.
Said he always gets, Brown said, I get butterflies before every fight. It's natural, but it's part of the excitement of being in the ring.
Well, yeah, I think that's every fighter, man. You know, before you do anything on this level, you should get nervous. It's human.
Absolutely. I tell people you want to be nervous because it keeps you on edge, keeps you sharp. But you know, Jared, you don't let it overwhelm you.
Exactly.
Clark, the bigger of the two, in the all-black trunks, and Sub-Zero. Vernon Brown on the blue. Scheduled for 10. Just the start of things, and under a minute to go in round one.
Look, this is a filling-out process, obviously. But, you know, both guys, you can see, they know how to fight a little bit. You know they know how to fight. They're being smart, picking and choosing, staying close. That's what I like. They're staying close in the pocket with each other and trying to make the other guy, it's a chess match right now, trying to make the other guy make the first mistake.
They both have impressive records and both capable of a knockout at any moment.
Foundation on Clark. He's something I'm a little surprised that it's not as much movement as I thought I would see from Clark. Him being a taller fighter.
Through round one, Vernon Brown with that 10-0-1 record from Chicago, and the more angular Jamontay Clark, the quiet assassin from Cincinnati. Saturday, the season's biggest free agents on the field with their new teams. Bryce Harper and the Phillies take out Freddie Freeman and the Braves, and then the Giants go up against the Padres with Manny Machado. 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. You'll see it live on FS1 and on the Fox Sports app. And don't forget MLB Whip Around, nightly highlights at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern.
You know, both the guys are a little too patient at this point, especially.
What do you mean? It's start of round two.
Yeah,
What do you want?
you know me.
I know you. You come out swinging.
I want to see something happen. Jared's the same type of guy.
All
One
right.
round, you see the guy one round. Let's go. Let's get this thing going.
I think Clark heard you there.
But Vernon Brown, the smaller guy, he's got to close the distance and pick up the pace a little bit.
Brown comes in having KO'd his last 2 opponents and 6 out of his last 9.
There he is. He's letting his hands go.
Yeah, it's impressive. There's a shove from
No, you can't do that.
Clark. Trying to work the uppercut. He's got Brown on the ropes. Boy, he's got a punch if that connects.
Both guys are doing good right now. The pace did pick up. You know, another thing that I'm seeing that both guys are now going to the body also.
Clark, in his last 4 wins, 3 of those have come by decision.
No, you can't stand there. Look, but you're not coming back with anything. You're shaking his head like it didn't do anything, but you didn't come back with anything. So to the judges, you know, you lost. You're losing when you get like a guy like that hit you with 3 or 4 straight punches, and you don't come back with anything.
Already the punches landed, you see, and you can follow along in favor of Clark by more than 2-1. First round going to Clark. Check in with our unofficial scorer in a few.
If I'm Clark, I just keep hitting him with the jab. I don't even throw a left hand until he opens up. Just keep using that jab.
See, about 30 seconds went past without Brown throwing a punch. He needs to get closer and closer distance and let his hands go.
Yeah, because you can't land punches if you don't throw them.
That's it.
And when he does throw, he's loading up on one big shot. You know, he needs to work behind the jab. You know, kind of swing his head side to side, to slip inside, and work punches and try to set up a big shot instead of just going for a big shot when he first let his hands go.
Lunge, nothing. There's another miss from Brown. You can hear Clark talking, or at least see him. Came in with like a power punch. Did not land, and then a head shake from Brown. These two are working each other, at least mentally. It's nothing there. Through two. Corner of Vernon Brown. This is his first fight on national television here, and fighting a taller, bigger opponent in Jamontay Clark. Let's go over to Brown's corner and Jordan Harding.
Thanks, Chris. So Brown is a lot shorter than Clark, but I must say, you guys, last time Brown fought someone at 6'2", and someone that was a southpaw was just this past July, and he scored a third-round knockout with a huge overhand left that finished his opponent. So, you guys, history could repeat itself, and Brown could chop down this tree, guys.
It would be a big tree at 6'2" in Jamontay Clark, who, in our unofficial scoring, has taken the first 2 rounds of this scheduled 10-rounder.
Well, I love the fact that our friend George's over using these analogies all night. Chop the tree down, and things like that. All night long, she'll be using analogies.
How do you take down a big tree? Body shots?
From the bottom up.
Okay.
To chop down the trunk.
Oh yes, first he has to close the distance though. You know, he's staying on the outside of Clark punches, and he has to get closer to the inside. And by doing that, he has to work the jab and not just walk straight in there.
Clark, who at just 24 years of age, as big as he is, his mom, his biggest supporter, who's always, there's a shot that lands.
And there you see it, all that was set up behind the jab.
Yes, excellent work by Brown.
Now, Jared, I was just going to say, you know, knowing the type of fighter you are, and the type of fighter I was, I mean, you sit there, you can't wait too long to let things happen, you know?
Exactly, man. You know, soon with that happening, say, you know, you look up, the fight's over.
Just by physical appearance, it would appear that Clark would have the punch capable of knocking a guy like Brown out, but that hasn't happened. At least Brown hasn't been knocked out. 7 knockouts in 14 fights for Clark.
Again, Jared, you understand, as a little guy, Brown cannot reach for the big guy. You can't reach, you got to move in with your feet. Behind the jab, it's the feet are the most important part of a fighter. Get you into trouble, get you out of trouble.
He stung him! He stung Clark, who smiles as he bounces off the rope. That big tree almost fell over.
Yeah, and that's the punch that Brown was looking for.
You better jump right on him right now. Oh, this guy's hurt.
He was screaming as he came away, but Clark is telling the referee, I'm okay to go.
Jump on him.
And here comes Brown.
He's still hurt.
He's inside of Clark. He's got him.
Clark needs to
He lands him all with a left.
This one you kamikaze. Let him go at all, from punches from all angles.
Right now, Clark needs to grab.
Moving in on.
Hold on.
Clark in defense mode.
Let your hands go. Kamikaze. That's how you let it.
He responds with a punch. A miss from Brown. A left that lands from Clark, who lands another shot. Here comes Clark now responding. And Brown backing off. And Clark is yelling at Brown. And the crowd loves it. It's the best action we've seen tonight.
Right here, boom. Short rolls underneath. There it is, boom. See, he rolled underneath. Staggered him, hit him right on his chin. Good shot, good compact left hook. And you know a guy's hurt when he's starting to do that.
Exactly, and the referee said the rope was the only reason why he stayed up, so they counted it as a knockdown.
There it is.
It is. So it is officially, a great point, Jared, a knockdown, because Clark, as big as he is, if the ropes aren't there, he's going down. And the first round in favor of Brown, and that flurry in the corner entertaining this crowd.
You know, kept punching him. The referee is very close to stopping that fight. Very close.
Smart for Clark there to hold.
I don't know how, yeah, there's the jawing from Clark. I don't know how he was able to hang in there. Because Brown was going after him like a pit bull.
They called him a quiet assassin, but he had a lot to say there.
He finally spoke. Well, Brown had more to say than he did in the entire round.
Chris, Jared, he's got to jump on him right now. He can't wait. Now he's just trying to be patient. No, jump on him, man. You had him hurt. He ain't fully recovered.
Yeah, and that's what he doesn't want Clark to do. He doesn't want him to get his confidence back and get back to the fight. You know, Brown had the momentum. He should jump on him and keep it.
He's too far on the outside. Stay on the outside, Jared. You know, he's got to jump, stay. Get back right on like he did. Roll. Bob and weave. Roll underneath.
Brown going after him, missing with the right.
And you know, usually when guys land a big shot like that, it gives them the confidence to know that they can hurt the guy, so they go right back at him. You know,
Clark doesn't look hurt now. He did moments ago.
Yeah, he doesn't look hurt now. He looks like he got his legs back. And there he is. He's landing a good left hand there.
Look. Vernon Brown's corner should set them. Hey, as soon as that bell rings, run across the string and jump right on it. You know, they gotta, come on, man. You had the guy out on his feet.
Well, maybe he's concerned if he gets in too close that Clark can get to him. There's a body shot, a right from Brown. Pawing at him, keeping his distance. Clark moving away.
And that shows what type of fighter Clark is. You know, two get hurt in the last round. You know, halfway through this round, he's winning this round. Come back from a round that he had previously. It shows the type of fighter he is.
Clark unofficially winning the first 2 rounds before Brown stunned him into the ropes with that knockdown. A head shake from Brown. Body shot from Brown. He went in on him.
That's what she said. Stay downstairs. Keep banging that body. Make Clark.
Tried the uppercut.
Exactly. And you see, when Brown hurts Clark, he has the power to hurt him, but he's loading up on every single shot. He's not mixing it up. He's not touching with some, then letting some rip.
You gotta change speed.
Change the speed on each shot.
Here comes Clark trying to measure him. He's got Brown on the ropes. Can he get a punch in?
Jared,
yes.
I don't know about you, but this is just dumb the way he's fighting. This is stupid.
You mean Brown?
Brown,
yes.
The way Brown's fighting right now.
To get off the ropes. I don't know what he's doing. Clark lands another one. Yeah, he's got him in the corner now. Brown ducking. Trying to respond. That may have missed. Inside of 10. And here comes Brown. Maybe he was setting Clark up. Oh! Right on the chin.
Oh!
He's going after him. Oh, look at that. Some jawing from Brown.
Wow.
Against the much bigger Clark. Brown gets the last shot, and Brown gets the round. Feisty Vernon Brown at 5'7", talking big to the big man. Clark, who was knocked out in the 3rd round in his last fight as well, he ended up losing that one. Surviving the knockdown from earlier as we begin round 5.
Jared, I don't know if you agree with me. I'd have ran across that ring again, right in his chest.
I like what the corner Brown is saying. He's saying to pick it up, stay on him. He said, you know, even if Clark jumps in the air, hit him in the feet. You know, hit him anywhere. Just make sure you land some punches because you know you got the power to hurt him.
All right, Jordan Hardy is with the trainer of Vernon Brown.
Yes, I'm here with his trainer, George Hernandez. George, what do you want him to do to finish him? Because it seems like he's landing big shots, but he's just not able to finish him.
No, he's got to get in and get the right shots into the body, into the head. We know that this guy, he can take a good shot, but let's see if he can take a combination of good shots, you know? And that's what we're trying to do, is break him down.
Thanks, Coach. Chris?
Thank you. That's what Ray was saying, but Clark seems to have gotten the 2nd win after that knockdown. Brown, it wasn't like he was laying back. It's just he couldn't get done what he wanted to. There's a right, sweat flying.
And here Clark now, he's using his legs and he's using his height range. What I think he should, good comment by Brown. But I think he should be doing all along. In the last round, he started to kind of exchange and trade shots with Brown. And I don't think that he should do that.
Sweat dripping down the back of Jamontay Clark.
Look, if I'm Brown, now I got the guy on, he's wheeling back, backing up on me. I feel it's a confidence builder for me because now I made the guy do what I wanted him to do. You jump on, keep banging that shot, keep throwing that hook, keep throwing that hook. Joe Frazier would throw it all night. All you needed was one. All you need is one against this guy.
But that was Joe Frazier.
Well, but he's tapped his chin twice and staggered it both times.
That landed from Clark, that right. You could hear it.
Did I forget to tell you not to pick your chin up?
That's a reminder.
Yeah.
And see, that's the danger that comes with loading up and trying to land that one big shot with Brown. He's opening himself up, and that's why Clark was able to land that big left hook there.
Don't want to be overzealous if you're Brown after winning the last 2 rounds, where Clark, we unofficially had Clark winning the first 2.
And again, you got to work your way in. There's no doubt. You always bang that belly, but once you get in there, let them shots go, man. The big rip them hooks to the head. But you got to work your way in.
I like the head movement of Brown. If it goes the distance, we're halfway through, rounding out round 5.
How you feel?
In the corner of Jamontay Clark, let's listen in. Jordan is there.
Yes, I'm here with Jamontay's trainer. He's coming down the steps right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jordan.
Oh, that's okay.
I thought we were ready to go there as we begin the 6th round. Go ahead.
What does Jamontay need to do to kind of take the momentum back from Vernon Brown stealing it?
We're going to have to start popping our jab a little more. Right down there. Double jab, left hand's coming forward, making him respect him a little bit more. Right now, he done got comfortable. He got comfortable, so we got to keep using our jab. Keep him at bay, and then when we close that distance, let that left hand go. Finish with our hands up.
Thanks, Coach. Chris?
See, the punches landed heavily in favor of Clark, but he was the one who was knocked down by Brown when he was smacked into the ropes. Mouth guard fell out. You saw the referee, Kenny Chevalier, picked that up. It was Clark's mouth guard that hit the canvas.
Great body shot.
Yeah, he's working Brown now. What's Brown? Brown's got to get out of there.
But Clark is fighting the Brown type of fight. He's fighting small instead of fighting big.
The ref just said, go get your mouthpiece. Get a fresh one. You don't want to. The canvas gets dirty, right? You can't just pick. It's not no 3-second rule when it hits.
Yeah, but this was the difference. When I was fighting, they just take it, throw it out. You get it after ending the round. Now they stop and give a guy a breather.
Which is a good thing. All right, Marcos,
no, it's not.
Our unofficial score here. Well, it is for Clark. If you're Clark.
Not if you're the other guy.
All right, so Marcos, you gave the last round to Clark.
Yeah, I did. I have it 47-47 because of the knockdown round number 3. Clark didn't get that round because he was knocked down. It's a good, entertaining fight, back and forth. When Brown is on the inside, he's scoring with his power punches, and when he does hit Clark, it's really affecting him, and that's, for me, giving him the rounds because he's throwing the punches that are damaging, that are doing more damage than his opponent.
Even though the punches landed heavily in favor of him.
Because to me, okay, those are point shots, but if he's pitter-pattering and not landing big, powerful punches as Brown is, it's going to take more an effect on me when I'm watching the fight and giving it to Brown.
Our unofficial score. Thank you, Marcos.
I wish Brown would be a little more busy. He does have the power to hurt Clark, but every 20 seconds he'll throw a punch. He needs to let his hand go a little more.
Oh, don't switch. Don't switch. Don't do that. That shows means you don't know what you're doing. Guys throws you straight down the middle. You're going to get caught.
Some fighters may tend to do that, just switch sometimes to give him a different look to throw him off.
Right, but they always say, oh, to confuse the guy. No, you just confuse the guy who does it. Shows he doesn't know what he wants to do.
Brown trying to get inside. I like the footwork, the dancing of the 6'2" Jamontay Clark.
And he has much more success because he's using his movement. And it's giving Brown problem.
At least the jawing back and forth has died down between these two, the verbal exchanges. And this is a little bit earlier. These are, I guess, verbal jabs. If you can't land the punches, you land these.
You gotta go to work on him. Go to work on body and his fucking head.
Live on FS1, the trainer of Vernon Brown saying you got to go to work against Jamontay Clark. That last round looked like Clark won that one according to our unofficial score. Sweat pouring down. Round 7.
Jared made a good point that Vernon Brown looked like he's trying to load up for that one punch. Okay, now he's got him on the inside, got him on the rope.
Yeah, that's good work by Brown.
Yeah, it is.
And yes, he's having much more success throwing 3 or 4 punches instead of just one big one.
Don't let him off the rope.
What?
Use your shoulders, use your elbows to keep him there.
Clark lands a left. And the body shot's coming from Brown. Why isn't Clark pivoting out of there, stepping away?
Brown should keep on ropes. Go to the chin, go to the body. Don't worry about the chin. Keep banging that body.
And now
a lot of punches are being blocked by Brown. This is Brown's fight. Clark,
that's right. Brown said he wanted an inside fighting game in this. And he's getting it.
Clark's getting exactly what he asked for. He's landing some good shots, but I just think it's dangerous for him to stand there and trade shots like that.
It is. You're absolutely right, Jared. Okay, when you're a big guy, fight tall. Don't fight small. And it plays right into Vernon Brown's hands.
That left landed on the side of the head of Brown. And Brown up against the ropes.
This is where Brown should use his distance. Just keep him at the end of the jab.
Oh, this is where
jab his way out.
Clark trying to defend himself. I think that uppercut may have connected. Clark's reach coming into play here. But Brown out of it now.
If Clark decides to stay there, when he's throwing those big shots, also he should be mindful of his defense. There's times where he's throwing the hook and he's getting caught with the hook also. Should bring that left hand. There it is again.
Right landed from Brown. He's doing good work inside. An uppercut.
You know, they exchange their hooks, but you know it's the reason why each fighter is landing because their opposite hand is not up.
Jared, you know as well as I do, when he throws that right up, come back with that left hand over the top.
There you go. Brown again with the wide hook. Go back to the 4 or 5 punches. You know, closing the distance, he had much more success.
Oh, he tried that left again. That's what knocked him down in the 3rd and into the ropes. There's the left that misses from Brown. Clark trying to get out. He's in the corner as the round is coming to an end. And a head shake and a smile from Jamontay Clark. What does that body language tell you?
He's feeling good. You know, it's hard to tell with these rounds because I feel Brown is landing the better blows, but Clark is much.
All right, let's listen into his corner here, Jack.
Come on now, bro. That's the only thing that happened. Listen, get behind me. Put the combinations together, okay? Don't try to waste shots. Don't try to overload the shit. Just try to pick your shots, okay? All right, go. Come on.
Don't overload. We heard from Brown's corner.
Yeah, it's Brown's corners give him great instructions. It's up to Brown to go out there and execute.
Last couple, in fact, the last 3 rounds, as close as they've been, this is a close fight, have gone to Clark, according to our scoring. Even though Brown had the 3rd down knockdown of Clark. Nice to have you watching Premier Boxing Champions live. It's fight night on FS1. Main event coming up. Lamont Peterson and Sergey Lipinets. But this is a good one. Super welterweights going at it in round 8.
See, Vernon Brown's letting Jamontay Clark move around him in the circle. He's letting him control the pace, control the distance. He's just standing there watching the ring around Rosen.
What I like too with Clark's doing, he's kind of giving Brown both looks. He's giving him the movement and using his right height and range, and then every now and then he'll switch it up and stand toe to toe and mix it up with him a little bit. And it kind of confuses out the fighter when you do that. And don't let him pick up on one style.
In that 7th round, there was more than 2 minutes spent in close range between these two, and that's what Brown and his corner want to continue to try and take charge of this fight. It's up in the air right now. It's up for grabs.
Vernon Brown's going to have to take some chances pretty soon. You know, no matter how good you're feeling, if you think you're up, you're down, this one fight, you got to start taking a chance. There it is.
There it is.
Got hit. You caught him. You know you can hurt the guy. Go start going in there, banging that body, and start winging that little hook to the head.
So, Ray, you think that this is the Clark is winning this fight?
No. I think right now it's a very close fight. Very close fight. Well, I mean, Jamontay Clark, yeah, I'd probably give him an advantage. But for Brown, you've already heard him a couple times. Just go back to what got him, what you heard him with. Keep winging that hook to the head.
And the difference between Clark and Brown is landing the harder shots, but it's only one shot
at a time.
At a time. And throughout the round, Clark is letting his hands go much more.
And Clark has shown great resiliency after he got stung in the ropes in that 3rd round knockdown when Brown delivered the left.
Vernon Brown just threw a straight left hand to the body. Once you get boom, then go back to the top of the head. But at least when you hit him with that body shot, you're right there. Stay there. Step over to your right. Cut off the ring. Quit following him. He's following him. That's all he's doing.
Oh, that right to the side of the head of Brown and then a left. I don't know how clean or how effective those punches were, but they did appear to land on Brown. Our main event coming up in just a few moments. Lamont Peterson, brother Anthony in a draw earlier, and Sergey Lipinets, former international kickboxing world champion turned world champion boxer. Both have had titles, are trying to get back to that level. It's a welterweight bout scheduled for 12, coming up live here on FS1. In the corner of Clark. Our unofficial scorer has given that last round to Clark. Marcos Villegas, in fact, the last 4 rounds have gone to Clark.
Let's go, fellas.
Brown,
see right here, he's landing a great shot on Clark, but it's one shot at a time. He needs to throw 3 or 4 shots. Here goes again, but he doesn't come back with anything else.
Jared Hurd with Ray Mancini, Chris Myers, Marcos Villegas. We have Jordan Hardy, our reporter, Felix De Jesus, interpreter, and Ray Flores, our ring announcer.
Jared, what's the one thing that stands out to you? For me, I don't see any sense of urgency from Vernon Brown.
Exactly, and like I said, normally when a fighter sees he can hurt the other fighter, they usually get a sense of urgency. But
you start walking him down.
But I think that's past. That was in the 3rd round. We're well beyond that. I keep waiting for a knockout punch from Clark.
Well, Clark is landing some good shots also, but it looks like Brown's shots are more effective.
Just not as many.
Just not as many.
see, just right there, when he made a miss, you got to make him pay for it. So when you make a miss, boom, I jump in with that. Don't leave your feet. That's whatever, you're close enough.
And that's when Clark has been the most successful when he's been inside of the taller Clark. Trying an overhand and then a jab towards the midsection.
Go on top, go on top.
Yeah, Clark looks comfortable there. Excuse me, Brown looks comfortable as Clark looks uncomfortable.
And there he's having much more success throwing more than one shot.
He's working underneath. Oh, the left. On a big right that misses. As Clark dances out of it.
You think he heard us? He's trying to jump in there.
He's chasing him around the ring.
But he's letting his hands go a little more and he's going for that big shot. But right now he's got to. There's only 2 rounds left.
Actually a round in a minute and 10. Body shot from Clark. Did not seem to bother. There's a few jabs to the head.
Hands are free.
Looking for a roll underneath and jump up with that left right hook. Roll underneath.
Looks like
seems like
that right
punch himself out a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Jared. That right landed for Clark. Both fighters look like they've slowed down a bit.
This is going to be some high-rounding score first half round. Now it seems like Clark is coming back.
Clark did the right thing. Just do straight punches, straight punches.
It's like Clark's got a mark below his left eye. Leaning in, the punches look like they're almost in slow motion here. Oh, shot to the head, and then a response. Leaning into each other, the punches are missing. That one landed, and Clark at the bell, and a tap from Brown with 1 round to go. Wow, what a fight. Let's listen into the corner of Vernon Brown.
Come on, it's the last round. Take some deep breath. Take some deep breath. Deep breath. Again, take some real deep breath. Real deep breath. Come on, all the way down to the diaphragm. Breathe, breathe. Deep breath. Come on, breathe. Deep, deep. This is the last round. We need this round, okay? We need it big. Because if we, they're going to try to get him around this round. This guy is hurt already. You just got to put a little combination together and you can get him out of there. Keep breathing. Deep breath.
You got to come up, and the only way he's going to come up is to leave.
Clark's corner.
Touch gloves last round.
You hear me? He cannot come up. He's going to lift up your chest.
When you're inside, keep your shoulder in the chest.
Don't let him hold the phone. Lock him down. You get ready. Lock him down.
Both fighters realizing what's at stake and our unofficial scoring, a slight edge for Jamontay Clark. And we'll get his thoughts as we begin the final round. Marcos, how do you see, how close do you see this?
Well, I have Jamontay Clark winning the last few rounds, 87 to 83 right now. I think he's just more active than Vernon Brown. He's throwing punches, he's landing. Brown, you can't expect to win a whole round by landing 1 or 2 really good power punches. You can't oversee the work that Jamontay Clark's doing over the whole course of the round. And because of that, I have him up.
And as Jared said, the effective punches from Brown, there's just not enough when you look at the punches landed compared to Clark.
Not enough activity, and when he does let his hands go, we have much more success. That's what I like to see from him.
Vernon Brown undefeated at 11 fights. He has 1 draw and 1 loss for Jamontay Clark.
Chris,
coming in.
I said this earlier, I don't see any sense of urgency with Vernon Brown. He should be picking up the pace, running after his guy, almost running after his opponent, and let both hands go from the bottom to the top.
Well, he's got a minute 45 to try and do that.
Some guys, it's not like he's trying to not lose rather than trying to win.
And maybe he thought that 3rd round knockdown was enough, but his corner reminded him it's up in the air here. He's in good position, but moving away is Clark, and still dancing. Clark's got to be careful here.
You think Brown's a little winner from that last round, Ray?
He looks like it, doesn't he? Yes. Oh, he's got Brown on the ropes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he threw a lot of punches, but he's missing a lot of punches. You know, Jared, punches that you miss take a lot more out of you than those you land.
It's been non-stop action in this fight. I mean, a slow dance in that opening round, but after that.
Jamontay Clark's boxing smart right now. Feels he's ahead. Boxing smart. Stop and throw a few punches, combinations to moving away.
And you have to ask, did the ropes save him? Not only he got the knockdown, but maybe save him from a knockout when he looked as wobbly as he did in that third round.
Yeah, possibility. He was really hurt there. 10 count was able to recover. And who knows? It probably could have saved him from being stopped with that.
But Brown with a chance to do some damage here. Clark ducking. Left from Clark. And some good punches landed.
Good angle.
We've gone the distance. Brown, arms in the air as if he's won this fight, but the taller, bigger man, Clark, up on the ropes where maybe the ropes had saved him earlier from a knockout, but not from a knockdown. Earlier action in this entertaining 10-rounder. Whose fight is it anyway? We'll have the answer in a moment. Jamontay Clark, Vernon Brown, an entertaining fight. They were jawing at each other. They were jabbing at each other. Close fight. Punch stats landed 30%. Slight edge there for Clark. He threw a lot more punches, landed more. The bigger, taller of the two, and the power punches, that was close as well. But advantage Clark, and our unofficial scorer, Marcos Villegas. You have Clark winning this. Go ahead, Marcos.
I have it 97-92, Chris. And I know we had some technical difficulty right there. Despite the knockdown in round 3 and him being hurt in round number 4, I felt overall from rounds 5 to round 10, he was just much more active, would pop the jab, just threw more volume, and Brown could never gain any more momentum or press the fight forward to score. So let's go ahead now. With that being said, go to Ray Flores to get the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judges at ringside, Larry Hazard Jr. and Paul Wallace scored the contest 96-93, and Judge David Braslow has the bout 95-94. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Jamontay Quiet Assassin Clark.
Well, some fans here, you can hear the cascade of boos. They didn't agree, and Brown, shaking his head, doesn't agree either that it was unanimous. So Clark improves his record to 14-1. He's so quiet. We'll just let the pictures do the talking. Clark, your winner over Brown. That is Lamont Peterson ready to take on Sergey Lipinets at our main event. Welterweight bout scheduled for 12 rounds, just seconds away. Earlier, Anthony Peterson, the younger brother of Lamont Peterson, fought in a draw bout here at MGM and National Harbor. Chris Myers welcoming you back live. Premier Boxing Champions here on FS1 and the main event coming up. And it was Muhammad Ali who said for most fighters, a lot of the work, the adversity, happens before you ever step into the ring. That couldn't be more true than for the Peterson family, especially Lamont, who had someone come into his life when a single mother raised 12 children, and the Peterson boys among them.
I have 11 brothers and sisters. I'm the 10th of 12. As a kid, lived in shelter homes and foster care and things like that. Bouncing around from home to home, and we went through shelter, homeless, shelter again, foster kid. We were stripped of our childhood because we had to fend for ourselves. We had to go out, wash windows, pickpocket. We had to do a lot of things that normal kids wouldn't do, to survive.
When he came out of foster care and had a chance to work with him, I knew it was something a little different about this kid. His comprehension skills wasn't, that of a normal 10-year-old. You could show him something once or twice, third time he almost had it to perfection. So
when boxing came in, that kind of gave us the insight of the real life. We thinking that, stealing, being criminals was the way of life because that's what we was used to. But once we met Burry, it manifests that being right, being positive is the way to go.
I started getting into boxing, and Burry took on more than a coach, definitely a father figure.
1, 2, double jab.
Burry was very important, not only with boxing. Burry taught us personal hygiene. He taught us how to deal with our emotions.
They had less than most, and so I embraced them a little bit tighter, because they needed it. It was never about boxing, for real. It was about life.
Lamont Peterson! What a shot!
I wouldn't have it any other way, having this long journey with my brother and Burry. It's true love, and we just really care about each other.
He has always loved boxing. In fact, when he was living on the streets, he said the only thing that really sustained him was the fact that he thought one day he'd be a world champion.
Peterson imposing his will.
As long as I'm fighting in this game, I want to be at the top. So it would mean a whole lot to me to just catch for that world title again and hold it as long as I can.
Fighting in his backyard, Lamont Peterson hoping that his height and reach advantages will carry him to his second straight win. And let's get a point of view on the other side with Sergey Lipinets' trainer, and Jordan Hardy is standing by with Joe Goosen.
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with Sergey Lipinets' trainer, Joe Goosen. Joe, you and Sergey have been working together for about 4 months now, and this is your first fight together. Besides win, what do you want to see him do well tonight against Lamont Peterson?
Well, look, win encapsulates it all, but I think we have to put pressure on Peterson. I think we have to be aware that he's a tremendous counter puncher, so when you touch Peterson, he's going to touch you back real quick. So you got to get your hands back in place. You got to keep a lot of head movement going. You got to keep a lot of combinations going. You really have to be a little bit of a machine when you go after Peterson, or else he could make it a long night for you. He's got a lot of tricks in his bag. He's a wily veteran, former world champion. He's only got a couple losses on his record, so it's a tough nut to crack. But we've been working very hard in the gym to decipher his style, and then to implement things that are going to work against him.
This is Lipinets' only second fight at 147 since moving up from 140. Do you feel like his performance tonight will solidify to you if this is the best weight for him?
Well, I think it is the best weight for him because the way I worked him in the gym, the amount of rounds that we did, and the days, weeks, and months we put in, his weight was still hovering at a higher weight. I even told him a week or two ago, I said, I can't even imagine, as hard as you've been working here, to think that you could actually lose another 7 pounds to make 140. I think that would be debilitating for him. As you get a little bit older, he just had his 30th birthday yesterday. You change, your body weight changes, your physique changes, and I think it's time for him to move up to 47. I think it's a good move, and he'll stay there.
We're looking forward to his performance tonight. Thank you so much.
Premier Boxing Champions live from just down the road. We're 8 miles within the nation's capital. National Harbor in the MGM at the theater. It's the scene for this 12-rounder, scheduled for 12 welterweights that have been champions before, trying to work their way back. 35-year-old Lamont Peterson running out of time. And just turning 30, Sergey Lipinets, hoping to get back to a fight that'll give him a chance at challenging those great fighters for a title in the welterweight division.
I am Sergey Samurai Lipinets.
Lipinets body shot, demonstrating the power that he has.
Tonight is my time to prove myself.
And a left hook! Oh my goodness!
As a welterweight.
Lipinets, former international kickboxing world champion, who has become a champion boxer. That former IBF super lightweight title that he held. What an interesting path from Kazakhstan to Russia. Beverly Hills, he calls home, and you heard from trainer Joe Goosen, the famous Goosen Gym in Van Nuys in Southern California, where he worked so feverishly with Lipinets for this bout. And Joe Goosen leading the way as Sergey heads to the ring.
I'm Lamont Peterson. This is my hometown.
Hard straight right hand. Peterson now going on the attack for the hometown crowd.
Tonight,
A right hand.
I get one step closer to being back on top.
Trying to bounce back from his knockout loss to IBF World Welterweight Champion Errol Spence Jr. in his last bout. Lamont Peterson, his second fight since 2015 was that Spence fight. He was requesting no intro music because you heard him say this is his backyard from DC, hometown crowd. He wants to take in the five to support. And despite that, he's a slight underdog. Odds makers, as things have swung slightly in favor of Sergey Lipinets against Lamont Peterson.
You know, Chris, it's a good thing to fight in front of your crowd. You feed off their energy. You want to impress. The other thing you have to watch, you don't over-impress. Try to over-impress. You get caught going out there being foolish and getting careless.
And yeah, you know, with my fight coming up soon in my hometown, hopefully I take a few notes from Lamont Peterson tonight.
You'll be watching closely. Jared Hurd, Ray Mancini, Chris Myers ringside with you on our Tale of the Tape, sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. Let's head to the ring and Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, from MGM National Harbor, it's time for our main event live on FS1. 12 rounds in the welterweight division. Sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Your three judges scoring this contest will be David Braslow, Larry Hazard Jr., and Paul Wallace. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds is Harvey Dock. Introducing first, fighting to my left out of the red corner. He comes in wearing the black and silver. Tip the scales officially at 147 pounds. His record, an outstanding one. 14 wins, 10 of those coming by way of knockout against one defeat. Fighting out of Beverly Hills, California by way of Russia. He is the former IBF Super Lightweight Champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Dami Gospoda, presenting Sergey Samurai Lipinets. And across the ring, his adversary fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the purple trunks, weighing in officially at a ready 145 3/4 pounds. His record, an impressive one, 35 wins, 17 of those coming by way of KO against 4 losses and 1 draw. Representing our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., he is the former IBF and WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Lamont Peterson.
Boxes. Okay, guys, we went over the instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Closed captioning available for tonight's telecast. If you'd like to hear the broadcast in Spanish, click over to the simulcast on Fox Deportes. Well, Lipinets, Joe Goosen, you saw, who trained with him, said he wanted to work on his foot speed, increase his volume of punches, keep his hands higher, and improve power. Ray, that's a lot to ask of Lipinets against Lamont Peterson.
It is, and especially, you know, like I said, it's the first time they're working together. You know, if Joe gets one or two of those things, if he could do one or two of those things while the fight goes on, Joe will be happy. Still have to implement things casually as the fight goes on.
Meanwhile, Peterson said, Jared, I strive for perfection all the time. Sometimes I have to take a few steps back to get a good gauge of the fight.
Yeah, you know, him and his brother, you know, Peterson, and they're both perfectionists. They stay in the gym 24/7, 365. And, you know, both of these guys are very intelligent and students of the game.
You know, Jared, I was going to say, one thing about this fight, these are two of the gentlemen in the sport. These are two good guys. You want to root for both of these guys.
But a 15-year difference where Lipinets is trying to get back on the stage. He thinks he's coming up, you know, not only in the weight class, but in opportunity, whereas Lamont Peterson knows he's running out of opportunities.
No, I call Lamont Peterson the gatekeeper in this division. If you're on the way up, you got to beat a guy like Lamont Peterson to get the, you know, a title shot, to get to the title. And if you're on the way down, you got to beat him to stay relative.
And this welterweight division, you just can't say enough. We saw Errol Spence Jr. in the pay-per-view event in Texas. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford, overloaded with talent, action fighters. And these two trying to stay in the mix.
You know, this is a good fight. You can see so far, both staying in the pocket. It's going to heat up into a better fight as we go along. One thing I like about Lamont Peterson, he's just easy shots. He's not throwing anything heavy right now. Feeling him out, touching him. He'll be loading up on those shots later on.
And also Lamont has that tight guard, kind of like a Ricky Wright, you know, the long arms, long elbows.
Or a guy I fought, Livingstone Bramble.
Yeah. Lipinets was able to slip an uppercut in there, but for the most part, Lamont is staying tight with his guard.
Keep pushing back down your chest.
But what I like, though, is Sergey is not giving a whole lot of ground. He's staying in the pocket. Don't punch right back with him. I think he's going to have to wear him down.
Lipinets has never been knocked out in his 15 pro fights. Peterson, it's happened twice. And Sergey the aggressor as the round comes to an end. Lipinets, Peterson, live on FS1. Good scene at National Harbor, the MGM. Stephon Diggs, former Maryland receiver, star with the Vikings, here to take in the fights. Caleb Plant, the super middleweight champ, the undefeated. And Julian Williams, May 11th, we're going to see him take on Jared Hurd, the undefeated champ. That'll be over on Fox at George Mason at Fairfax, Virginia. Live action here in round two. And Plant punching away. The volume of punches is something you're going to hear a lot about in this fight.
Yeah, Lipinets is surprising me. You know, I thought by him coming up to welterweight, you know, him standing toe-to-toe would be a bad idea, but right now he's having a lot of success with it against Peterson.
Well, to me, that's the only way he can win. You can't move away from Lamont Peterson. You know, Lamont Peterson's got them long arms. He's got to stay close, and he's got to beat him with a volume of punches, as I said earlier, and then step to the side.
What do you make of the transition from kickboxing? Do you have a thought on that, Jared? You fought anybody who's had that kind of background? I know Ray touched on it about Sergey.
Well, I never fought anyone with that type of background, but one thing you always have in the back of your mind is hopefully he doesn't kick.
And he said he's been tempted a few times, but he keeps those feet down.
Jared, right there. Lamont threw a left hook. Lipinets caught it on the elbow and shot a right hand right back and caught him. That's a good move. That's what he's gonna have to do against Lamont. Catch the punches and fire right back.
Exactly, right? And, a lot of we call that the catch and shoot. You know, he wants to catch on the elbow and shoot his own shot.
But you got the long arms of Lamont Peterson. You know, Chris, that's the way you got to get. You catch the punch, you got to fire it inside of his punches. Because you can't let him get out first. You can't let him throw it with the wide end, with the long arms. You got to get inside.
And Sergey's trying to get inside. And dipping. Got a little bit of a punch.
Two right hands back to back by Peterson.
And the crowd reacted favorably. And Anthony Peterson, his younger brother, fought earlier to a draw, watching and hollering. I mentioned Sean Porter, champion in the welterweight division. Glad he's not wearing that leprechaun outfit he had on the other night for the pay-per-view celebrating St. Patrick's Day and his championship belt.
One thing I like about Lipinets, he's getting him some good shots, but he's not losing his composure. He's staying right there, and actually both guys. But I mean, Lipinets is walking him down, not losing his composure, not getting wild, just keeping his hands tight.
I think Lamont needs to continue to do what he's doing. Keep a little distance. I don't like when he fight elbow to elbow, blood to blood. He's giving Lipinets a chance.
The impeccably dressed Sean Porter, your WBC World Welterweight Champion. And with Anthony Peterson, who we showed a moment ago, the brother of Lamont. And for Lamont Peterson, it's been over a year since his last fight. As he stares in for round 3. Slightly more punches landed by Peterson.
What many may not know, Porter was in camp with Peterson for this fight, helping him with Ugas, and you know, Peterson with this fight with Lipinets. That's maybe the reason why he has Kenny Porters in his corner.
Well, one of the things Joe Goose and I went out to the gym in Van Nuys, and Lipinets' trainer, he was working on having Sergey pivot a lot, move around.
Well, look, I said, he's tight in the pocket. He's throwing good punches. He's getting hit, but he's firing right back. You know, and he's turning on his feet. Again, you got to give him angles. Got to give him angles. Look, he's got a great chin. He's got to hit with some soft shots. He's always had a good chin. But he's keeping his chin tucked. Look, this is a war of attrition, as I said earlier. Because Lamont Peterson is going to be there all night. You know, all night. So you got to move him off the block.
Peterson, 4 of his last 6 wins have come by knockout. Lipinets not known for the KO, only 1 of his last 4 victories a knockout. And each of them their more recent loss has come to a good fighter. For Peterson, it was Errol Spence, and of course Mikey Garcia was the only defeat for Lipinets at his 15 pro fights.
I like what I see from Lamont. He's putting in the body shots early. And he's having some success with it. Lipinets is also landing some body shots, but Peterson looks like his is doing a little more damage.
Look, it's a good strategy by both guys, trying to empty the tank early on. And that's what they do, a lot of good body work. But like I said, you know, and Lipinets, both guys are going to the head also. See that? Now that's a little low, but that's all right. Apologize and cut him in half.
It still hurts, right? Even with the apology.
Yeah. In the meantime, your opponent's half dead. So, but look, you just got to keep both hands. Lipinets has got to beat him with the volume of punches, like I said.
Well, he's landed more. At least Lamont Peterson has landed more. He's thrown more, obviously. So both fighters not shy about trying to land punches or throw them. Looked like that left man caught the chin briefly of Peterson from Lipinets.
And right there, you see that little distance Lamont has now. I like when he fights from that because, you know, it makes it a little tougher for Sergey Lipinets to land a punch.
First couple of rounds going to Peterson unofficially. We'll check in a few moments with our unofficial scorer. Oh, that was after the bell.
Any spread between
Joe Goosen with his safecracker gloves. Trainer for Sergey Lipinets. So let's listen to that bell on the punch. Clearly after the bell, and Lamont Peterson acknowledged such. First 3 rounds unofficially going to Peterson.
Now, Chris, Joe Goosen said when he starts making separate, getting some distance, I want you to run after.
Go after, yeah, run after.
Absolutely. Close that distance. That's what you were saying. You were saying earlier, that's the way he's effective.
He said also that he wanted Sergey to fight inside, get inside.
Inside, yes. And Goosen is telling him right, you know, don't leave the little gap. Lamont has a lot more success. You know, Lipinets needs to get inside and stay there.
And he wants him to take that left uppercut to the liver.
It looks like the left cheek area of Lipinets has taken some hits, a little swelling there. As Peterson looks unfazed here in round 4.
But Lipinets doing a good job right now, not letting him breathe. Staying right on top for him.
Yeah, I like the uppercut, trying to get inside as he was instructed.
But there's a 6-inch age difference, and you got to use that to your advantage. You know, Lamont's been in a lot of tough rounds, a lot of tough fights. Make him use his legs.
This is a battle of who's able to execute the game plan better. With Lipinets close the gap, Lamont Peterson keep the distance and stay on the outside like he's doing now.
And what's Lamont's game plan, you think, Jared?
Well, I'm not sure exact game plan, but what he's looking much better when he's moving the way he is. He's not moving as much as his brother was earlier. Oh, Lipinets has a good right hand.
Yeah, that got Lipinets' right hand, and he goes to the belt there.
He's not moving as much. He's moving. He's keeping just enough distance to be able to get his shots also.
Look, Sergey's starting to wear him down. You know, he's starting to wear him down mentally because he's walking through everything he's got. Everything Lamont's throwing at him, Lipinets is walking through it. So that's psychologically, it's a good thing. It's a big factor in this fight so far.
Exactly, and that's why I say one guy has to execute the game plan better. And right now, Lipinets is doing his job by closing the gap.
And he'll need to. He's at least in the first 3 rounds, even though this is close. Unofficially behind the hometown favorite, although the odds makers and the bettors slight advantage or leading in the area of Sergey Lipinets.
You see that move there, right when Peterson tried to escape, Lipinets cut the ring off. That's something he needs to continue to do.
Good punch, good right from Sergey. And the bell right away. Lipinets better be careful when that bell sounds. Ref had to get in there, but he lands the left on Peterson in round 4.
You commit to the right hand.
Lamont Peterson winning the first 3 rounds unofficially. Sergey Lipinets looked like maybe he took that 4th round. We'll check in with our official score in a moment. Let's go into the corner of Peterson and Jordan.
Chris, thank you. So his trainer, Barry Hunter, the Lamont trainer, is telling him that he wants to use the jab, but he also really wants to see that right hand, but the hook has to come behind it. They really want to see that 3 shot. He said he wants him to work up and down, which means go to the head and the body. They also want him to step to his right to move away from that power hand of Lipinets. And he's also telling him to hold the phone. Jarrett, what does hold the phone mean?
Well, hold the phone is, keep your right hand up to your ear, high, as if you're holding the phone. And that's what Barry wants him to do. And right now, I think he needs to hold 2 phones, keep both hands up.
I just got educated. I never heard that term before, but it makes sense. Yeah, I said have earmuffs. Yeah, same thing. But look, right now, Lipinets is doing good.
He really is.
He's attacking that body, and it's going to take us to an older fighter. And he's strong. He's banging that body with hard shots.
Lipinets showing some toughness here. Marcos Villegas, our unofficial scorer. Nice exchange here in the middle of the ring. The uppercut misses. How do you see it so far?
So far, 39-37. I had round 2, a very close round. It could have gone either way. I gave it to Lamont Peterson because I felt overall he landed the cleaner punches like we just saw right there with the straight right hand. But it seems that Sergey Lipinets is starting to get the motor going, and he's starting to chop down now on Peterson.
Well, Lipinets, what I like is doing, he's going upstairs, downstairs, jabbing to the body, jabbing to the head, jabbing to the body, right hand to the head, then left hook. You know, and that's what Peterson's corner told him to do. When he jabs to your body, shoot the right hand over the top.
That left landed to the head of Lipinets. Lipinets misses with a left, and now he's jabbing away at Peterson. One uppercut from Lamont.
Good body shot.
Jared, I'm sure you understand right now, Chris, I think Lipinets, the volume of punches that he's throwing, he's just keeping too busy for, you know, Lamont at this point.
Yes, exactly. He doesn't care where he lands, you know, he's just letting his hands go. And you're exactly right. It's the variety of punches he's throwing and not the pile of body he's putting in.
Good left to the body from Peterson. Has the crowd up.
Look, this is a hell of a fight. You know, as a boxing enthusiast, man, you love this infighting. I love it.
I love the way that they're both going at each other. There's no standing back.
I think Peterson found a home for that left hook to the body. He keeps on whipping it.
But you see Lipinets catch it on the elbow and shoot that right hand. Even if he ain't hitting him with solid, he's throwing it. So Lamar's got to be aware of it.
That bell sounds. Oh, Peterson landed. And now Lipinets heads to his corner. And the crowd likes that. Referee Harvey Dock just told trainer Joe Goosen to get out of the ring. He was complaining about something. He stepped in from Sergey's corner, upset about something.
No, there's 30 seconds left. They're telling me, Chris, that there was a mistake in the timekeeping. 30 seconds left in the round.
Thank you for clarifying, Ray Mancini. Last round, Marcos went back to Peterson on, so he's got the body shots. And that's completing the round of 30 seconds. And I'm not sure. Marcos will check on the official timing issue, and that's what I think Joe was. He was talking to the timekeeper, who's ringside along with us. And now you've got Barry Hunter, and you've got the corner of Lamont Peterson hollering as Goosen addresses Sergey Lipinets.
I ain't giving enough nothing, man. I ain't gonna give you nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what the confusion was. The timekeeper's right here.
The timekeeper rang the bell with a minute left. That's the word we're getting. So that's why they had to complete the round.
This pace is too slow for you.
And I think that's why Joe was pointing that out. And they went back to complete the round, we're assuming. And we had our clock running. Marcos Villegas went over to talk to the representative here from the Maryland Athletic Commission. They're keeping time up to us. We'll keep the clock in so you can follow along at home. So now the beginning of round 6 as they did complete round 5.
Yeah, I can see why Barry Hunter got a little upset there, because right before they did ring that bell, Lamont was coming on a little, and stop of the action maybe could have saved him or helped lift it out.
It's a great point, Jared. It did look like Lamont was finding a groove.
You know, Barry came over and just said, "Do your job. Do your job."
Yeah, it's not that difficult, right? I mean, you got a clock, you got a bell.
Look, both these guys
went flying here. Good punches being thrown.
Bruce, I'm sorry. I was going to say, both these guys are starting to swell up. You know, both these guys are. That infighting, man, is taking
So
a toll.
it's slant. Yeah, you can see right the marked up on the body. I mean, neither one of these guys wanted to sit back and let this thing play out. There's Sergey trying to get a body shot in, and a warning from The ref on a low blow. Good right by Sergey.
See right here now, Lamont, he's fighting Lipinets' fight.
Meaning
he's standing toe to toe, and Lipinets is landing ripping shots.
So Sergey's inside.
He's inside. There you go. He's inside. And this is what Lipinets' fight is at, and Lamont is giving him exactly what he wants.
But Lamont's walking him back now. Lamont's starting to walk him back, which I think is going to be more effective for him. Because he wasn't too effective staying on the outside. Now he's starting to walk Lipinets back.
Had a lot of punches thrown. You see, landed.
Yeah, Lamont he's getting more physical in there.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Lipinets looks a little tired or worn. See how he responds.
You know, this is something I'm speaking about. You know, Lamont showing he's a bigger fighter, the natural welterweight, and he's showing his physical size right now.
He's using his experience to create that space, shoot those short, choppy shots.
I love the left hook to the body that Peterson had.
Body shot. That landed from Peterson. Oh, nice exchange of response from Sergey Lipinets.
Wow.
A left from Peterson to the body. The toughness of Lipinets. The right misses, but the left landed by Peterson. Well, let's clarify the clock issue. Marcos Villegas, ringside with us, went over to confirm what happened in that previous round. Marcos?
Chris, I spoke to Executive Director Patrick Pinella, and there was a lot of confusion as to what happened. He told me that he thinks that the round ended before it was supposed to. The other commissioner was saying it was due to the clock, some sort of glitch on it when it happened, and it was the first time that he was using it, which caused what we see right now to happen.
And this is previously, you'll hear the bell. And that's obviously you react, that's where Peterson, as Jared pointed out, was coming on.
Yeah, you know, Peterson landed a good right hand there, and the bell sounded, and if it was a lot left, who knows what Peterson would be able to do.
Let's go, red corner.
Scheduled for 12. Start around 7, and the punches continue to fly, and so does the sweat.
See there, the good back and forth action. Peterson lands a good right hand over top, and Lipinets come right back with his own.
Well, both these guys got solid chins. Both these guys could take a good shot. And both of them are not over big punchers, you know, but they can hurt you and sting you and take you out at any time. But they have to hit you with a volume of punches.
Yeah, there's you've been talking about it. Punches thrown, over 600 for each fighter here in round 7. The percentages landed similar, but Peterson the slight edge.
Yeah,
and body shots.
Yeah, there you go. As you can see, the work output is pretty much even. This fight is a tremendous fight so far.
Well, Lamont's doing what he wants. He's creating that space right now. Sergey's got to close the distance like he did earlier in the fight.
Sergey has responded well.
And earlier in the fight, he was giving him angles. And now he's doing too much squaring up too much in front of him.
Lipinets trying to get inside. So he's got some blood on his left shoulder arm area.
Now, one thing I noticed about Lamont, and Jerry, you know what we talked about earlier, he's smart. He's an old, wily veteran. He'll change the speeds. He's just throwing easy shots down, then he'll load up with that one big shot to the body.
There you go. Yeah, he's not loading up on one shot.
No.
He's putting his punches together and changing the speed on him also.
Peterson at the age of 35. Former title holder. Sergey can say the same thing, but both have let their titles slip away.
Something Lipinets doing now, it was so beautiful. When he steps in at closer distance, he's shooting a short uppercut, and he's fitting the guards of Lamont.
And you know, I think that's shooting a short jab, quick, like a hammer jab. Boom, jabbing it, boom, real quick when they're close.
Nice left
right
from
there.
Peterson. Trying to work the uppercut. You know, Peterson, that last round, he threw 131 punches in round 6. That's a career high in the 20 of his fights that have been tracked. So both of these fighters have been punching machines. The effectiveness in what has landed, that looked like a tired effort from Sergey. They tap gloves. Neither fighter willing to give an inch. Throwing punch after punch. Lamont Peterson, who in his corner said, you know, I don't care if we're the slight underdog. I'm on my home turf here. We don't listen to outsiders. Who's the favorite? Well, odds makers say. We've been fighting odds our whole life. And Sergey Lipinets can make the same claim. Growing up in Russia, said you couldn't go to the store in Kazakhstan without people trying to beat you up. Let's go into Lipinets' corner and Jordan Hardy.
Chris, thank you. Joe, you told us the biggest thing for Lipinets to beat Peterson is going to be a volume of punches, a variety of punches. Do you feel like he's doing exactly what you wanted?
He's throwing a good variety. He's landing, you know, little uppercuts. He's landing body shots, left hooks, right hands. They're both landing great punches. You know, Peterson's going to the body really good. Now, you know, they look like they're hurting him, but they're not really hurting him because they're not slowing him down. It's just a rough fight right now, and Peterson's hanging in tougher than I thought he would in the pit here. I didn't underestimate him, but he's hanging in real tough because they're both landing great shots. And I think we've heard Peterson a couple times in this fight, but he's really putting a good hustle on. He's using his experience, and he's you know, we gotta do more, you know. We got to do more, and I think we got to hurt him a couple more times, if not knock him out, because this is his hometown right here, and we're doing it right now.
All right, thank you, Joe. Chris?
Trainer, thank you. Trainer Joe Gusu. It sounds like he could be an announcer. I think he's got some ability in that area.
But he's absolutely right. Joe's been reiterating what we've been saying. Good infighting, chopping each other down with them body shots. But Lipinets is, you know, was hurting Lamont earlier. Now Lamont is, you know, as tough as they come, they ain't going anywhere. But the volume of punches is what's going to get Sergey over the top.
And how about what Joe said about he knows he's in the other, you know, Peterson's hometown. He said we got to do more, if not knock him out. I mean, that's a lot of pressure on Lipinets.
Oh yeah, well, being in someone's hometown, you know, the crowd can kind of sway the judge, even the punches aren't landed. And you can hear the crowd root for Lamont every time he does something.
Slight edge unofficially for Peterson. We haven't had a knockdown.
Oh!
What a shot!
But we know Lamont can take a shot.
Wow.
And he can't take too many more of those.
Wow.
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Now he is hurt.
He's hurt.
Oh, yeah.
He's hurt.
He's going after him.
He's got to. Sergey's
blood dripping from the nose of Peterson. He's on the ropes. Can he stay 40 seconds on his feet? Staggering.
Sergey's systematically breaking him down right now.
Peterson wobbly.
But Sergey got to pick up the pace.
Lipinets with a right. Peterson not sure where he is. Trying to respond. A right from Lipinets. Peterson on the run to finish the round, regaining his composure. Sergey Lipinets, recently turning 30 years old. Happy birthday. How did Peterson stay on his feet? Last couple of rounds going to Lipinets. And a chance to try and finish off Lamont Peterson. Let's check in with Jordan.
Barry, what does Lamont need to do to make sure he survives throughout this fight?
You got to turn around and keep turning. He can't stay on the line and keep eating right hands. He's okay as long as he's letting the hand go and getting to his back. But he got to be smart. Get off the line after he gets shots on.
All right, thanks, Coach. Chris?
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, Chris, you know, look, Sergey, Lamont was hurt that last round. Sergey was getting to him a lot of shots. And look, his face started to swell up pretty good. You know, he got hurt bad. I tell you what, you know, he can't be getting with that type of shots and he's going to be standing up for long.
Peterson at 5'9", a couple inches taller than Lipinets, has the reach advantage. But took a shot. Look at the body shots. Peterson the advantage there, but that jab, that stinger from Lipinets in the last round tilted this fight. It's a close fight. It's anybody's fight. But the plan, and then left from Lipinets.
And right here, Lipinets should pick it up. You know, he sees that Lamont is hurt, and he should go out there and try to finish the fight.
Lamont's as tough as they come. This is why he's had such a career that he's had, because he knows how to ride with a lot of punches. He knows how to survive. But I'll tell you right now, he's in with a young guy, though, who can punch pretty good. He's using all his skill set, all his knowledge to try to survive. And he does it by throwing punches. But he's hurt right now. He hasn't recovered from last round.
5 years younger is Lipinets. Peterson trying to respond. You see that under his left eye puffing up a little bit.
Yeah, he has a little swelling on his left eye. And, you know, that's where Sergey was able to land a big right hand. Hopefully his vision isn't messed up, and he can use some of these punches, man, because he's getting hit with some great shots.
Some blood coming from the left nostril area of Peterson. And just Lipinets is just a punching machine.
And he's loading up with most of those punches right now. Oh, killer body shots.
And the punches landed, tightening up a little bit. Peterson still holding the edge. But Sergey is taking this fight away from Lamont Peterson.
And you see, I think that body shot that Lipinets landed really affected Lamont.
Getting the jab in between. 3 more rounds to go. Peterson has slowed down. We're glad you're with us tonight on FS1. And the hometown favorite, at least among the fans, Lamont Peterson, in some trouble here from the DC area.
Let's go. You understand?
Joe Goosen in the corner of Lipinets.
Good. You got enough.
And our unofficial score has given the last 3 rounds to Sergey Lipinets. And overall, it's a toss-up. Could be a draw at this point, the way that we have seen this fight go as we begin round 10. Marcos Villegas alongside with us. And how are you seeing it?
Yeah, Chris, it's a really back and forth fight if you look at it overall as a whole. With Sergey Lipinets really getting momentum in the last 3 rounds. I got it 86-85. There was a swing round, like I mentioned, in round number 2. So it could be a draw at this point on the judges' scorecards. But Sergey Lipinets, just with his relentless attack, is really closing in on the cards.
Well, it's the kind of fight you want. You want these last few rounds to decide things. Jared Hurd, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Chris Myers ringside with you.
Look, right now, Lipinets is breaking them down, as I said last round. He's breaking them down, them body shots. But again, that's the great heart of Lamont Peterson. He's a champion. He knows what he's got to do, and he's trying to come back. He's giving everything he's got. Man, these are great fights, man. You got to appreciate this as a fight fan. You don't get no better for fight fans.
Exactly. You know, as we spoke on the previous fight about guys that's not willing to take chances. Well, from these 2 fighters, we don't have to worry about that because these guys are leaving all on the line.
Well, the game plan of Sergey Lipinets and his corner seems to be very effective.
Yeah, staying tight, staying inside of Lamont's punches, break him down from the body. You know, you may have to take some to give some, but, you know, and it's working so far. But I'll tell you, I mean, it's all the one way that Lamont knows how to fight. And Sergey, to me, you know, he's got to stay on the inside, but you know, he can start using some movement, lateral movement. To me, I think that would throw off Lamont.
I mean, give Peterson credit. Now you see blood in the nostril, the lip area for hanging in there, because as you guys said a few rounds ago, he was hurt, and yet he's been able to withstand the constant punching from Sergey.
Exactly, and the fact that, you know, both guys are landing a tremendous amount of body shots they're landing, they're still able to work the way they are. It shows that they both came in tip-top shape.
And we have almost 600 punches landed between the two.
Yeah, so, you know, like I said, you guys came in tip-top shape and it's showing now.
Right now, you know, between rounds, Lamont was spitting out a lot of blood, That means he's swallowing a lot of it too, which is not good.
Certainly by physical appearance, it would appear that Peterson has taken more of a beating. That landed for, he's stunned.
He's ready to go.
He is stunned by the shot. Sergey Lipinets, where he goes down, and here comes the towel. The white towel is out as Peterson went down. And that towel came out as quickly as Sergey Lipinets was landing the punch. Joe Gusa lifts him in the air and takes him back to his corner.
Wow. Few seconds left, and Lipinets gets a knockout.
That's how you do it.
And for Peterson, this is the second straight fight he's been stopped, and the first time that he's lost consecutive fights. As the celebration continues for the Russian, Kazakhstan-born Sergey Lipinets, who smacked him there with a right and then went in on him and just wouldn't stop. And as Peterson went down, the towel flew fast. And it's lights out at National Harbor. Well, there is the face of a disappointed and badly beaten Lamont Peterson. Barry Hunter, who's done such a great job with Team Peterson, was quick to throw in the towel as Sergey Lipinets worked his game plan to perfection. As we recap with Jarrett Hurd and Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
You see, there's the uppercut that was working all night for Lipinets.
But even there, when he got hit with shots, he wore him down with his tenacity.
That's the big right hand that hurt him there. And kudos to Lamont. You know, he put up a good fight even after being hurt. He was able to come back and fight.
And then the finishing touch.
And I credit Barry Hunter for throwing in the towel. Man, he saved. He loves this kid like his own son. He had to save him from himself.
And the fans here, the hometown fans, appreciating his effort. And it was a career checkpoint in terms of how long he could stay at this, and upwardly moving forward is Sergey Lipinets, who wanted this. As we checked the official statistics and we talked about volume of punches thrown, nearly a 1,000 by each. Slight percentage advantage by Peterson. Power punches, even Peterson holding the edge there. More punches thrown, that volume you touched on early, Ray Mancini, for Sergey, very effective. But he had the punch when he needed it. Probably on the phone with his agent saying, let's set that next fight up. Let's head to the ring at Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, the corner of Lamont Peterson has thrown in the towel. Referee in charge, Harvey Dock, has waved off the contest. The official time, 2 minutes, 59 seconds of the 10th round. For your winner by technical knockout, Sergey Samurai Lipinets.
Hey, DC. Me and Lamont got something to say to y'all. I'm gonna let him talk. And I wanna thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for supporting us all these 25 years. I mean, my hat go off to Sergey. Lamont got something to say, and I'm gonna let him take it away.
How y'all doing, DC? It's been a long career, but today is the day. And I thank for the support throughout my career. I love y'all. I'm always going to support this area. But I'm sure it's time for me to hang it up. And I just want to say I appreciate y'all. Thanks a bunch, man. And I couldn't go out a better way at home, main event. And but this is going to be the last time you see me in the ring. Thanks for everything, man.
I know there's a lot of emotions going on right now, but you know we do want to know it was a tough night for you tonight. Where exactly in the fight did you feel like you were starting to struggle a little bit?
I never really felt like I was struggling. I know it was kind of like a back and forth thing. He hit me with some good shots. I hit him with some good shots, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. And recently, that's been happening some, so that's kind of telling me something that I need to do. And I'm going to listen to it today. This will be the last time I'll be in the ring.
Well, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself, and respects to you. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you. Sergey, where's that? Alex will be translating for us. Sergey, congratulations on a great win tonight. This is your second fight at 147. Ask him, how much stronger did he feel tonight against this, and did this give him confirmation that he does belong in this weight class?
Это твой второй бой сейчас 147 паундов. Как ты чувствуешь себя сильнее, чем 140?
Я чувствую себя намного лучше в 147. И я встретился с таким великим бойцом, как Ламонт Петерсон, который показал настоящий бой, настоящее зрелище, показал, что мне нужно делать, к чему я должен быть готов. Поэтому я очень благодарен ему, я очень ценю, что он взял этот бой.
I feel great at 147 pounds, no doubt about it. I feel strong. And just now I fought a guy that is not. It's not an easy guy to fight. Lamont Peterson is an excellent fighter, and he, fighting guys like that actually gauge me out. Where am I at 147? And as you see, I fit right in, and I have no problem. Lamont is a great, excellent fighter, unbelievable skills, and that shows me where my holes are and what I can do to cover them up.
And he was saying this shows him where he's at 147. Does he believe he's able to compete at that world-class level in the welterweight division?
Ты чувствуешь, что ты можешь на мировом уровне в этой весовой категории выступать?
Ламон дрался с лучшими бойцами, и сейчас я дрался с Ламоном, поэтому я думаю, что я готов к бойцам этого дивизиона, к лучшим бойцам. И у меня есть очень хороший тренер Джо Гузен, который готовил меня сейчас. И вы видите разницу между тем боем, который был до этого, и сейчас, который есть.
Absolutely. The thing is that you've seen me at 140 pounds. You've seen me fighting at 147 already, and you see the difference between the previous fight at 147 and the one that I just had now, who's a very top-notch fighter. And it's all attributed to Joe Guzan, my new trainer, and the camp that we've had with Joe Guzan is an excellent camp. I mean, we had beautiful, perfect sparring partners that took a lot from me and gave me a lot and got me ready for that fight. And it's just give an opportunity. It looks easy when you watch it from the bleachers.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations, Chris. Back to you.
And Sergey Lipinets deserves a chance against a top 5 contender when you think about Spence, Porter, Thurman, Crawford, maybe Omar Figueroa. Talk about volume of punches. Impressed with Sergey Lipinets, Jerry?
Yeah, definitely impressed with Sergey Lipinets. Like Ray said, this is the win he needed to solidify, let him know that he is able to compete in the top with the top fighters.
And thankful for the career of Lamont Peterson with a 35-5-1 record, recognizing when the time is up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He's everything that's good about boxing. A guy always gave you an honest day's work, never cheated the fans, and it's kudos to him to know when it's time to shut it down. God bless him, man. I wish him the best in his future.
Lipinets, his record to 15-1. Should be a lot of fun. For our entire crew, Ray Mancini, Jarrett Hurd, this has been a Chirag DeVasker production, directed by Derek Manning. Our coordinating producer, Steve Becker. Exciting fights, but in the end, Sergey Lipinets, the winner over the local kid, Lamont Peterson, who decides to retire. I'm Chris Myers. Thanks for being a part of Premier Boxing Champions on FS1, and we hope you tune in next time when you get the chance. PBC on Fox at FS1.